2, 1.
So-and-so, oh, everybody knows that girl is out of control. Oh, she's a criminal, still in my heart and still in my soul. Oh, but I can't say no. Text me where you wanna go. Skip the line, come straight to the back. Drinks on me when she move like that. VIP no matter where she at. Where you at?
Man, isn't he? He's supposed to be like a rock guy.
He was in a band called Dope for a while, which was like mildly successful, kind of like crunkcore.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's like everyone who was like a big like rock guy, like, yeah, man, I'm all about rocking. In like the late 2000s was like doing like crunkcore. They were in Broken Side. They were
I was gonna say, yeah,
and they were like, and they were just doing really bad auto-tuned pop.
Nobody ever wanted this. Nobody. People kept making this music, but there was never an audience for it. Nobody ever wanted Broken Side. Nobody ever wanted Club Criminal.
It was just like that girl who had the dad who said consequences will never be the same. Like it was like her, and some other people. Like it was like 11-year-old girls who like had a tattoo for women, somehow.
They were girls who like their parents weren't responsible enough to keep them off of MySpace. They had MySpace at like 11.
Yeah, and they like smoked cigarettes, but they were bad at
it. Oh my god. This is the thing I was talking about with my homie earlier, was
I need to take us. Are there any more Sinister songs? Are there any more songs from that crew?
I'm sure. You can always go with a song from music. But I was talking to my homie about how whenever somebody does a fan film, which is, first of all, don't do that. And if you're ever in a situation where for whatever reason you are unintentionally watching a fan film, like let's somebody's duped you into it, you should immediately get out of the situation as fast as possible. And anybody who comments a positive thing on a fan film on YouTube should I'm not an advocate for genocide, but I just think we should all, as a society, kind of come to the agreement that they need to go to the chambers. And I'm not trying to be edgy and evoke that as in like a, I'm not joking.
I want to make it very clear.
I wish death upon these people.
Yeah, if someone's having you watch a fan film, you probably can't say anything negative about it, because if they're watching a fan film, they're really no one's. I don't think anyone's ever been like, yeah, this fan film's okay.
No, God, God,
I love it.
Here, man, this is we're gonna air some grievances. I'm gonna show you the one. This is the okay. If you search Obi-Wan versus if you search, this is the Star Wars thing I want to talk about. Obi-Wan versus,
just searching for a Star Wars character versus any other random Star Wars character.
The number one result for Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader. I wanted to look at the scene from.
Well, that actually happened though. Yeah. Okay.
And I wanted to look at the scene from A New Hope. The number one video on YouTube is this dog shit, tonally anachronistic, absolute garbage fan film. And if you like this thing, fuck you. For one, you're trash.
It's like it's one of those things where it's like AMVs. It's basically just an AMV, or it's like if you think some aspect of it is good, it's still under this dark cloud of like they couldn't have even written their own thing. Like doesn't even count as a thing in and of itself. So you can't really give it any kudos in any aspect. It's disqualified from compliments.
No. And I think I've been good, Declan. I think I've been good. I think I've been I think my snobbery over the last, I'd say 5 years, I've done a good job of containing it pretty much exclusively to this podcast. I think I might have to get radically. I think I might have to get radically snobbed right now. I might need to get my snob on.
I'm trying to keep it under control. Yeah, like, what do you do? What do you? I guess this is what I'm trying to ask: is what do you do around women? What are the things that you say or do?
I mostly just talk about like shit that I'm into. You know, it's like,
yeah. I've been thinking about, like, if I were in the same room as a girl, like, do I ever say anything positive? And I was trying to think of something. I was like, well, okay, what's good? I was like,
This is something I've learned is, and like, I'm not by any means like in spite of what you guys might think and have gleaned based on all of my experiences from, you know, my life and everything. I'm not some sort of bitch expert. I'm not a professor. I don't even have my master's yet. I've got a bachelor's, and even the bachelor's, half of that came from community college.
I'm just looking to share field notes here. I just wanted to.
Yeah. What you talk about is you gotta just go with the things that you like, and when somebody says some dumb shit, you're like, oh, that sounds cool. and I know it's hard, but like, that's genuinely all it really takes, I think. Like, I'm also, you know, like, I'm not a morbidly obese guy. I have all my hair, you know, so like, and not that you are either of those things, but you know, those things, there are certain things that make it difficult as a guy to carry a conversation with a girl because there's not any sort of like immediate physical attraction. I can't speak to that. I'm not saying that I'm like super good looking, but I'm not ugly. So like, that's good. Makes it easy. That immediately makes it a lot easier. You're not ugly either.
Thanks, pal.
And I would tell you if you were. And and we also know ugly dudes that get mad pussy. So
so it might even be inversely correlated.
Yeah. Well, they have nothing to lose. They have nothing to.
I guess I don't know.
Well, they're like, well, it's not like my life can get any worse. So, but anyway, you know, like, where was even going with this? Oh, snobbery. Yeah, just if you have stuff that you're genuinely interested in and passionate about, that's usually enough. I think that I don't think that people's interests need to be lined up so significantly that like everything that they like has to be the same. Like, I think people people just appreciate like that you're into anything at all.
Yeah, that's obvious. Yeah, but what I would anything. Yeah, like I like yeah, what I would have trouble with is just hearing somebody going and not going ugh immediately, because 99% of stuff now is just I go oh no thank you. Just the Steven and I are watching Hulu. Just you should see the fucking ads on Hulu. Oh my god.
Well, you have an outlet for though. Yes, and I've been watching Daisy of Love on Hulu as well. And it's all dog shit. It's all like
those ads are. It's like, oh, apparently the worst people in the world watch mostly Hulu because holy shit, this is nuts.
Have you seen the Marshalls ad with this obnoxious sort of like
I don't pay attention to I don't know what the product is.
The most obnoxious 5 out of 10 woman I've ever seen being like, I'm slaying in my Marshalls clothes, like a fucking Hillary Clinton wannabe type.
Yeah, every commercial is like
as a woman now, you get to be a really sexy Asian girl, a light-skinned black woman with an afro, or Hillary Clinton. Those are your three options.
If you're Hillary Clinton, you're like really good with technology and you're like getting stuff done and like doing it really fast and clean. And if you're a young college-age black girl, you are
they don't know what they do.
You're going to be alone forever, and you're psyched about it. Like
they don't know what these people want. So like whenever they put them in position, they're just like looking pretty in places with the product. There's never any sort of I never get an idea of what these people are supposed to be doing. I know what black women in college want to be doing. They want to be sucking each other's pussies and playing games on the GameCube. They want to be reading yaoi manga. I know, I was there. and
it's probably changed enough like I think it's probably changed enough since we've been in college that I think they've gone from being lesbians to just straight up being like no relationships ever, and I'm doing what I'm walking really confidently. I'm walking really confidently through places.
I had this is like so I went to this wedding. I think I talked about this last time.
Yeah.
Of people that I had known forever, and then included people we went to high school with. They were there, and one of the people that we went to high school with is a girl who I briefly dated and took to like ball or prom or whatever.
Yeah.
And blonde girl, you might remember her.
Yeah.
And we were talking, and actually, now that I think about it, I have a video on my phone of her saying that you were the favorite of my friends at that time. And you were gloating and giving yourself like you were like pointing at yourself and be like, me, number one.
I remember
anyway.
that. Oh, that was her. No, yeah, it was something about. Yeah, I don't know.
I think
someone called
like,
me cool or something. I did a funny.
Yeah, I think she said
did a funny hand gesture that she wanted me to imitate for the camera.
But anyway, she was talking about it. She's like, so in high school you were like a nerd, right? and I'm like, and she's like, no, I don't mean like. I'm like, you were like into nerdy things. Like, did you like Avatar: The Last Airbender? And I'm like, which is like, that's a nerdy thing?
She thinks that's the nerdiest thing you're into.
Yeah. And I'm like,
you've seen Naruto like 8 times.
Woman, I made you watch an entire episode of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends in a mall in the fucking food court while I ate a burger. I made you.
No,
sit
you need
and
to see this to
minutes.
understand me.
No, that's exactly what happened. Anyway, I was on my phone and I made her watch the entire thing on like a 3-inch iPhone screen. But
that's
anyway,
awesome.
Yeah, she's like, well, so she's like, I've been watching this series, and it's a fan series of Avatar: The Last Airbender done in live action, and that was the most in a long time where I'm like, you could not have arranged a series of words that will make me less interested.
I thought it was like I thought it would just make you infuriated. Like, yeah, you were a nerd, you liked Avatar, anyways. Now that nerd stuff is cool, I love live action fantasy on the YouTube.
She was bad about it, but I just it got me thinking about the fan film thing, and I urge you to watch this piece of garbage. Actually, I guess we'd be giving it views, but I don't really care. It's already got millions of them. This is dog shit, and anybody who likes this is wrong. And I'm not afraid to say it anymore. The shackles are off, baby.
I thought we were going to get into like fictional like Star Wars scenarios. So I googled. I got the first fan fiction. The result I got for Jar Jar Binks versus Count Dooku, and it's not very long, but it's from, I guess, a larger work called "If I Did It: Confessions of the Sith" by Jar Jar Binks.
See, now that's good.
It is funny that they just took the OJ title. Yeah.
So let me read off some of these fucking comments from this goddamn fucking fan film. I'm gonna name names here.
I bet the names are super funny. I bet they're all like epic bacon guys.
Not Hulk Hogan. I'm going to pretend that this is actually.
I'm going to pretend that this
is actually what happened forever. First of all, none of this happened. This is all fiction.
Happened in. Oh, what do you mean? Like, it doesn't happen in the video?
This is fiction. No, this is a movie. Okay.
Oh, well, yeah, it's Star Wars. I knew that.
Full test animations. I'm going to make this my canon. This is the Darth Vader that the galaxy feared of. I was like, this is the Darth Vader that the galaxy feared of, and this is the Obi-Wan, a legendary Jedi Master. And thank the 21st century for this new technology. And the prequel music is intense in this scene. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Vader fights like a man who waited 2 decades to kill Obi-Wan. Let's see. There at one point there's like this embarrassing flashback in quotes audio that plays over where they're playing like screaming "I'll kill you" over top of Darth Vader like fighting Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
and it's like, damn, the flashback dialogue gave me chills. Watch this, read the comments. I'll never do it justice. I'm going to move on to something more interesting now. Fan films suck. The only way to deal with, I think the way to deal with not being a snob all the time into people in real life is to just completely castrate yourself and live as a eunuch. And just accept that there's nothing that can come of reacting negatively to people enjoying things. And the only thing you can do is give them more interesting things to enjoy.
I'm just trying to figure out what Jar Jar is saying here. He says, let me tell you, fear is not an enemy to mastering the Force unless you are trying to be a Jedi. Besides, most successful Jedi did not follow the old teachings anyway. Luke, Ben, or even Yoda, really. What even successful Jedi lacked was mastery of fear. Fear must be inhaled and exhaled like air. No, none of this is written in his voice. Maybe he could have been faking it. He could have been putting on cool.
Like Yoda, like when Yoda was faking being like senile.
Yeah, yes, just like that.
You know who made an appearance? A long time friend of mine, somebody who I haven't thought about in a while. I was shooting a wedding this past weekend, and I opened the door to go fucking talk to the groom and like meet him at the beginning of the day. And who opens the door in front of me but Mr. John Carter himself, fucking Gambit, fucking Taylor Kitsch was a groomsman at this wedding.
You met Taylor Kitsch again?
Yeah, my son
what?
is in
you keep running into Taylor Kitsch.
I was like, I opened the door and I'm like, hey. it's Tim Riggins from fucking Friday Night Lights is staring me right in the goddamn face. And, oh my god, I probably shouldn't be saying any of this, but who fucking cares?
That's wild.
Nobody's gonna.
How does it keep happening?
So anyway, the groom was apparently. This is probably breaking a whole bunch of contract shit that I don't care about. Nobody's gonna hear this. The groom was an extra on Friday Night Lights, and that's how we met Taylor Kitsch, and they became friends, and they've been friends for like a decade and a half since then. And anyway, when I came in, they were playing this. They were just gathered around this table playing a Monopoly card game.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh, this must be something that was just in. I didn't say this, but I was just like,
I would assume
they
it
must
was
have
just sitting in the facility somewhere. Yeah, they.
You would think that, but no. They're talking about all the times that they played this game and all the places that they played this game, including Taylor Kitsch.
Monopoly
they all call
cards,
him Kitsch.
You say?
They all call him Kitsch. Yes.
Sweet.
And anyway, they're talking about. At one point, a groomsman brings up an anecdote about. He's like, there was this time that I was with Kitsch when we were out, and I visited him out in LA, and he had an after party at his house out there in LA. And he invited a bunch of models to come with. And what ended up happening is
models. Sure.
He ended up ignoring the models to play this Monopoly card game all night with us.
Yeah.
It was just as base as you could possibly be. Just blowing off Hollywood models to play Monopoly cards with your fucking boys. I gotta see what game this is.
Based on everything, it sounds pretty sick. He just wanders around everywhere. Everyone just sees him. Just in every store.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go
turn off my AC real quick.
I'm 2 for 2 on meeting Taylor Kitsch at my job, so hopefully it'll be 3 for 3 with the next career. Monopoly Deal, that's the name of the game. Yeah, and they got very animated by this. They all knew the rules. They all had
I assume he did not recognize you.
No, God, no.
Did you even bring it up? Did you even tell him?
No, God, no! I didn't even acknowledge that he was Taylor Kitsch. I just shot the wedding. Yeah, because I'm like, I don't want to fucking. It's not. Come on, it's not his day. I'm there to juice up the groom. I'm there to get this. I'm there to fluff the groom for his wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was fucking weird. And this is especially weird. So I shoot.
He's gonna deliver you a pizza someday.
I'm hoping that for whatever my next career is, if it ends up being filmmaking, I'll end up meeting him then there too. That'd be sick. But because that'd be 3 for 3 since moving down here. But another weird thing is that there's this guy who plays in wedding bands that I shoot a lot, and he's a drummer. And every time I've seen him before, I'm like, that guy looks a lot like Taylor Kitsch. They got to be fucking related or something. And then I get up to the reception area at this wedding, And lo and fucking behold, the Taylor Kitsch looking drummer is playing this wedding. And I was like, this is fucking weird. What else is going on? That was a real fucking mindfuck there. Just like he was just there. He was just acting like a fucking dude. It's the most time I've ever spent around like at this point, a C grade celebrity, maybe a D grade celebrity.
Oh, everyone knows that guy. Yeah,
celebrity nonetheless. But yeah, that's what was going on with me this past weekend. Just like hate, like fuming over Star Wars fan films and
why would you be? That's such a weird thing to get mad at.
I'm not. No, that's a thing from today. That's a thing I've been on today.
Okay, yeah.
And then I think I have one other thing I was going to bring up. What was it? No, it's gone. Maybe I'll think of it later. What's going on with you, pal?
Can you say you were going to say something about my tweet that I made about how most movies people like are just about a cool guy who does bad stuff, and people are like, "Whoa, my brain, this moral quandary."
Was I going on about that? Oh, I think that was tied into like you
have no idea. Okay, forget it.
No, I don't know if I was replying to the right one, but maybe I'm wrong. And this all ties into going all the way back to the fan film thing. This has been a horrible drunken rant. The thing that we got us here was thinking about like what is the audience for crunkcore music? What is the audience for like edgy reimaginings of things? Because if you look at all of like the Power Rangers fan films, which like you shouldn't do, but I was with my friend and we were just like digging through all of them, and all of them are so dark in like they're just killing people. They're brutally executing people with shotguns, and it's like, what is this? Who wants this? Who wants to see this version of these characters? Like
serious, it's mature.
Yeah, I want to enjoy the same things that I was enjoying when I was 5 now, and pretend that it's somehow more adult. These are very insightful observations, of course. I'm the first person to notice these things.
Fan films are very good.
Please credit me when you talk about this. What is going on with you, my guy?
You keep fucking tossing me the baton like I'm chomping at the bit for something. I'm just on a bunch of supplements now. I'm on my suppies.
How are those going?
All my suppies. Fine. I don't know.
Do you feel yourself growing stronger?
I don't. Not yet. I don't know. I took one of those. What's the one that I got the force schoolie, and the jackroot.
Tonkadali.
I don't know if that's what gave me energy, but I just sort of paced back and forth in my living room for like 2 hours, just sort of talking to myself like a crazy person instead of lifting weights like I was supposed to. So I gotta get better at that.
That's part of the process.
Yeah, that's
part of the.
I'll grow into it.
I believe we call that the escalation phase. That is the as you're working your way up, as you're slowly building to a great release.
Yeah, eventually everything just becomes that, and I'm like that all the time. See, I was doing the fasting thing, and then I think my mom might have gotten word of it or something, because she just one day she was like, "Hey, can I come?" She did the mom thing where she's like, "Hey, can I come over in like 10 minutes?" And I was like, it was one of the few times where I was like, actually, yeah, it's fine. There's no weird stuff flying out. And she just brought me like an entire like Thanksgiving dinner for some reason, and like.
Oh, how could your mom possibly have heard about this?
I told my dad, or who did I tell? My dad noticed that I had lost weight. I didn't even say anything, but he noticed. So maybe he said something? I don't know. It could be a coincidence, but like, she had made like.
What is the ulterior motive behind this unrequited affection, or not unrequited affection, unconditional affection, mother? Why are you plying me with all of this love? Do you have
it's not even love. It's just like they need to keep your caloric. Like they have, even if even if you're losing like a healthy amount of weight, they don't like. They have a drive to keep your caloric intake steady.
There's probably some sort of pheromone that you stopped releasing that she was getting through the ether.
She could probably hear it in my voice, like how they can hear you when you're laying down. Like you answer the phone.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You in bed? And you're like, what? No. So yeah, she had a bunch of cheesecake. She didn't even make it. I was like, why do you have all this cheesecake?
I brought you 5 pounds of whey protein powder. Yeah. I brought you. That would have been 8. Go on.
Yeah, bunch of potato salad. So yeah, I put that on hold for a couple days. Ate all that real quick. And then today I didn't do much. I was catching up on this hot new murder. Everyone's excited.
Oh,
about.
the fucking
murder that
I heard about that from a photographer I was working with on a wedding this past weekend. She's like, "So what do you guys think happened?" And I'm like, "What?"
People are trying. I had no idea there were people who were like,
it's like, what do you think happened? I'm like, he killed her. It's nothing. Yeah, because my friend Bree's like, so what do you think? And like, this is just the thing the girls are on. We're like, what do you think happened? It's like, we all know, every guy in the world knows.
That's so funny. I should have figured that like they have to, because they have to get strung along. So like it's being presented to them like, ooh, someone went missing. And it's like she was with one person.
No. There was nobody went missing. We know exactly what happened. It's just, it's like one of those. I watched all of those. What is it? JCP criminal psychology videos. JCS. Yeah, I watched all those, and I'm pretty sure if you put me in the room with this guy,
maybe it's just those where we like. It's like you get.
I hear the narration voice in my head. It's like what's the guy's name?
He wouldn't
Brian
even bother.
Laundrie.
Yeah.
Brian Laundrie was a man who was, like that guy's voice immediately comes into my head. It's like, little does she know, or little does he know, they already found her body in the ditch in Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Her body was bruised and battered. Her clothes torn.
I had no idea. It's so funny that the ladies are think it's like a mystery. That's how they're getting it.
Oh, it's every single one of them. Well, because the thing is that because like this week we generalize about women. Last week you were coming to their defense, but this week you gotta be on my side on this one.
Last night
they're just last week rather. Come on, man.
Right.
I'm a little. Okay. In the words of our good friend Weasel from AC of Love, I'm a little bagged up. So yeah, we're gonna generalize about women a little bit. All of them, literally, all they do in their cars now is listen to true crime podcasts. They do now is just like, it's like whenever they're in their car or going to the grocery store, all of them are listening to true crime podcasts all day. They're just
apparently they haven't gotten very good at identifying the potential.
No, because they're overthinking it. Because they're like,
because they're getting the most interesting stories.
Yeah, they're listening to Serial or fucking whatever, that kind of shit.
Show,
yeah, where it's like, so what do you? And they're like, oh, there's got to be something else. It can't be him. This is a red herring. It's too obvious. And it's like,
because it's a serial format, so there has to be twists and turns. And in real life, it's like never.
Nothing could possibly be more cut and dry. It's like the guy came home without his girlfriend.
It's say
done.
Oh fuck, that's hilarious. There's a fishing guy that gets recommended to me a lot on YouTube. Who's like this Asian guy who him and his girlfriend started vanning, and they're driving across the country in the van. So I heard this and I was like, no. And it wasn't him. I was like, it'd be so funny if this Asian guy, his name is like Taco or Taku or something, who just like cooks like crabs and like.
Oh, is this the Fisherman's Life guy?
No, it's a different guy.
No, is it Fisherman's Life? Is he Asian?
No, he's not Asian. Or he's.
No, he is Asian.
He doesn't look it. Maybe he is, but
he's
no,
like
the
Filipino
guy,
or something.
Yeah, maybe. The guy I'm thinking of, his channel is called Outdoor Chef Life, I think.
Oh yeah,
And
I
he's
got him
this
right
like
here.
he's this very like soft-spoken, like smiley guy, and him and his girlfriend are vanning. So I was I was like, oh, if it was him, I would have lost it. But yeah, no, it wasn't. And so yeah, I watched they had they made they're vloggers, they're van vloggers, and it's like they have one video. And
Well, no, because they literally just got started. Because people say
well,
like,
they didn't just get started. They went from New York. They made it all the way to
but
Yellowstone.
this was their first trip, is the thing. And like the way it was billed to me by this person was like they asked me, so what do you think happened? And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never heard of any. You're just asked me a non sequitur. I have no. And like, do you know anything about what's going on with this case? And I'm like, no, of course I don't. So
Without knowing anything, you're like, a case? Is there like a husband or boyfriend? There was a crime. Did a crime happen? Does anyone know? Like,
am I in a room right now? It's like, yeah. Well, we got to find out what happened.
But yeah, they have.
Can you read my rights first? Are you wearing a wire?
Yeah. But it's so funny that they got one video out before he lost it, and it's like they squeezed out one video finally before they both could not before the world was not big enough for the two of them, and it like sucks. It's like a shitty vlog.
No, she's like a 7 out of 10. Like, I'm sorry.
She has she has the hippie look. She's definitely, there's a phenotype where it's like you want to be, you want to like cruise around. Like she's like the blonde, and she looks a little too old. She's like 22, but like she looks hot like 29. She like has these weird sort of stress wrinkles. She has trashy tattoos, like super blonde, and like she just. And the video they made, the vlog is like, it's just this terrible sped up footage of them, just like the beach, and like there's none of them talking.
They eat yogurt, and they eat yogurt.
It's footage of her
blueberries.
making yogurt, yeah, and doing yoga, and it's like, oh my god, this is fucking holy shit.
It's like, you know what, I can't blame them.
Well, no, that was like one thing, and I was like, okay, like so like, because people want it to be like, oh, it's like the dark underbelly of this ideal social media, but it's like obvious that these are trashy people, and and they only made one video before they got at each other's throats. But then I watched the dash cam footage of the DV of the DD, the domestic, no, what do they call them now? Domestic incident? I don't know. But I
didn't watch that. What's going on in that?
Well, like, this is the other thing that makes it even more ridiculous that people think it's like a mystery. It's like they had the cops called on them for them fighting like 3 days before she went missing. Except the cops show up and they'd been fighting, but she was like scratching at him and shit. So he was actually like the victim in that, legally. Cause like he was like, they like shared a phone or something, but maybe it was like mostly her phone, but he was like keeping her phone cause like he was holding it away from her. Cause he wanted her to like, I don't know, like fuck off out of the van and calm down, but he wanted the phone. But she was like reaching for it and like just scratching him and shit. So she gave him some scratchies. So the footage, the body cam footage is fucking hilarious because like the cop walks up to her and she's like sobbing and screaming and crying, even though like she's the aggressor technically, and she wasn't hurt at all, but she's like, and first of all, her nipples are out. So if you want, if you don't want, her sacrifice to be in vain, you can see several minutes of her nipples on YouTube. And she's saying she's like, she looks the way she does, and she's crying even though like the cops kind of got called on her, and she's saying shit like it's just like my vibe, it's just
no.
And I'm going like, oh my. And and then just like a minute after that, she goes like, sometimes I just like, I have OCD, and it's like, I'm just like, I go, oh holy shit. Like, if this guy is still alive and they find him, like breathing through a through like a piece of bamboo in the Florida Everglades somewhere.
Yeah. He's wearing
with
a
Rambo
gator
makeup
suit.
on.
He's wearing a gator suit. He fought a gator.
If he's befriended a stray ostrich and that escaped from a zoo, and he's breaking into Chick-fil-A's and digging through their fridges for supplies, then on his way to prison, they should give him honestly a gold medal for making it all the way from New York to Yellowstone before he killed this bitch. If I were in a car for 5 minutes with this lady, I would have driven us both off a cliff. It is crazy that he made it that far.
This is this is the part where I say, he's a giant loser for doing this. Not the killing, but the giant loser.
No, he's obviously a fucking dork because it's like he obviously just spazzed so hard. She made him so angry somehow that he could not handle it. He was not equipped emotionally to handle it at all, and he just fucking like.
Here he is thinking, he's like, oh man, I'm gonna go around. This is the life. I'm gonna go around this country.
No, and you get a little glimpse of in the police cam. Like,
I haven't seen the police cam. So
she's talking about how like this is like the vanning stuff is like predictably mostly her idea. Not that he should get a pass for allowing it or going along with it, but he was apparently pretty pessimistic about the whole idea, and did not think that she could quote unquote do it, which probably correct. Probably should have put a stop to this whole thing before it escalated to the point that it did.
Well, where'd she get where'd she get the money for this fucking van? Like, where did this van manifest from? Because like I was being told about this.
I have a guess.
and like she's 22, so it's like they're in this fucking van that they got kitted out for fucking to go around the country. And this is the part where I have to throw caveats out. Yes, this is a comedy podcast. She did not deserve to die, but she was, I have to reconcile my disdain for this kind of person with my obviously the morality of killing a bitch for being annoying,
Well, yeah, I mean we're all mature here. I mean I don't have to. I hope I don't have to throw out a bunch of caveats of like, oh, murder is bad, by the way. It's like, yeah, of course, but it's also important to understand how it gets to this point, and it's pretty obvious. You fucking get really angry and spaz.
Yeah, this guy's a sucker. Like what a fucking loser. You should have dumped her. You should have been like, yeah, we're gonna stop here real quick. You use the bathroom and just dipped. Like that's a way better use of your time than murdering her.
Driving both of you, careening into the Grand Canyon with both of you in the car. Fine.
There's a nobility to that.
There's a sacrifice of there's a finality. There's like, you obviously were invested. You were very invested in this decision.
Yeah,
you thought it through. Everything.
Yeah, because your life's over anyway. So like, if you're like, I can't put up with this anymore, and she's got to go, you should at least have the common decency to acknowledge it's like, this is the sacrifice I have to make. If I'm going to take one for the team, and just, or better yet, what you could do is like park on the edge of a cliff, and then like you turn the parking brake off, and then you guys are banging, so you get what you're looking for, which is and so it careens off a cliff while you guys are mid coitus. And it's
like two eagles falling out of the sky, man.
Yeah, in a graceful, sort of beautiful way. That's I don't want to make light of
that's
the
a
dead
hippie double suicide right there.
But that would be a vibe, if you feel me. If you're
she
really
would appreciate the vibe. Yeah, she would have been into
she'd be like, this is kind of my aesthetic.
This is like how we were meant to go. This is like destiny.
Yeah, like you're like, while we're on the way down, I'm gonna put on some Macy Star, and this is kind of hot.
Yeah, so
God.
You gotta
this is
you gotta be equipped to not spaz.
This is the most boring, obnoxious, fucking like true crime thing that's happened. It's not even true crime. There's no like fucking mystery here.
They'll make a mystery out of fucking anything.
This is such like an eye roll, like Anyway, we
got a solid
about this shit.
we got a solid amount of content out of it though.
Yeah.
So
thanks, Gabby. Yeah, that was worth it.
Thanks, Gabs. Speaking of not serial killers. Speaking of murder.
Yes.
There's murder in this show we watched.
True.
Which is not Star Wars Visions. There might be murder in that, but I haven't seen it yet. Will I see it at all? I don't know. I'll at least watch the Trigger one.
That's the only two. There are two Trigger ones. I downloaded both of them, and one of them doesn't look very good.
Okay.
Yes.
One of them looks like Promare.
Yes, of course, because and I skimmed through it. And yes, it is 100% that. And
I assume it's like a 15-minute long only action scene.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, all right. If I was in Maishi and they gave me a Star Wars thing, that was what I would do.
Yeah, no, it's about that level. I think it's like, so you know how Trigger sometimes will crank the amount of movement to detail slider pretty far to the right. You know what I mean? Where it's like we're just gonna. Sometimes people won't even be on screen, but there'll be the impression of some sort of movement going on. You know, it's like the camera can't keep track of the actions going on and shit. It's like that to the nth degree, where like the characters are just teleporting around and like it's a thing. None of the other stuff looks interesting. There's a Kinema Citrus one. Yeah.
There's a Science Saru one. It's US's studio.
Yeah.
I assume he didn't direct it. Because he's retired. We promised we would get back to Fate.
I can't believe we did.
Because there's more of it. Yeah, we decided on this. So we've circled back here. We watched Fate Stay Night: Unlimited Blade Works. The series by UFO.
Yeah.
Not the 90-minute movie that I kind of want to see because it's famous for being the most absurdly paced movie of all time and not really a movie. Yes. After that we were like, okay, after this we will watch Fate Zero, which is kind of a prequel, but it came out after the original visual novel, but it came out before this series. This is like the first UFO table thing, I think. That's Fate, at least. They were doing they did like the movie, the what's it called movie? Tsukihime? Or no, the other, whatever. They were doing other moon phase stuff. They did one, and they were like, hey, do this Fate thing. So
yes,
this is regarded pretty often as the greatest anime of all time. So you can't call us hipsters anymore. No one did that, but you can't from now on.
Yeah. We're not a bunch of dumpster diving anime, 80s anime OVA watching fucking. We're not. We of course we've seen the most recent episode of My Hero Academia. Of course, we're caught up. Oh man, the season finale of Attack on Titan. Yeah, we're there. Of course. Yeah.
Series finale even.
Yeah, let me break out. Even know it was over. Let me break out my Orin High School Host Club shirt to put on while I watch. This is my anime shirt.
No one watches that.
I don't know.
You have such an old guy idea of what's cool. Like, hey, who's watching Black Butler? What?
You guys excited about Soul Eater Core 2?
Mm-hmm.
Soul Eater, guys.
This was a light novel. I thought it was a visual novel for some reason. No, this one's a light novel prequel to Fate Stay Night, and written by the Butcher, written by Gen Urobuchi, the master, and it aired in 2011 and 2012 in 2 split cores. And we only watched the first one because we're busy and we have a lot to talk about.
I was hanging out with my friend Taylor Kitsch. I was too busy to watch this.
Hanging out with Kitsch. Give us a break.
We were playing fucking Monopoly Deal.
So, we talked a lot in that other Fate episode about the debate about what order to consume this content in. And so we'll get into that. This is, I already said, UFO Table's first foray into the Fate series. It's very highfalutin sounding. It was very successful. So let's talk about things we knew going in. I knew that it had some CG. I knew it had good fights. I knew that it's sad and dark. I knew about rape worms. And I
did not know about rape worms.
Okay, all right. Surprised that, okay, sure. I knew that it supposedly changes your perspective wildly on the events of the preceding series somehow. I gotta say, in the first core here, just in the first half, doesn't do that. But maybe it'll get there.
No,
we can't really speak on that dimension so far.
I would say so far, Bean not freaked.
So far Apple has not fallen far.
Lid not popped.
I knew that what's his face had a hard life. Now I know. Now I remember at least that his name is Kiritsugu. Yeah. Had a hard life. Accurate.
Yep.
I knew there's a Batman fight. We didn't hit that part yet. The director, is there anything you knew?
I knew the Butcher.
Yeah.
I knew that it would have Saber.
Mm-hmm.
I knew.
Did you know she would wear a suit?
I did know that.
You did?
I did know that.
Oh, you did. Okay.
I intentionally. So this was a deliberate decision I made forever ago, which was not out of protecting myself, but more just because I'm like, I didn't. Okay, so I intentionally avoided everything regarding the Fate series ever since I've started watching anime. Not like because I think that it's bad or anything, but because it's like I simply did not think I was ever going to take the time to get invested enough.
It's one of those things that people like talk about like it's like super crazy complicated, like, whoa, dude, this is like impenetrable, but it's like it's really not.
No, it's
like if you play the original VN, it's fucking long. But like that's it.
It's like there aren't. It's only complex in so much as that there's a lot of people with a lot of like goals, but all of their goals end up being kind of the same thing. So like,
and also it's like the rules are so flimsy that it's like everyone has a different version of what's going on. So there's a lot of like theorizing and there's a lot of discussion. I think that's probably part of what makes it so successful is it spurns a lot of discussion, but that makes people think that it's like super hard to understand or something, and it's not.
No, this is action schlock with this really fun kind of cage, basically, where it's like this is like it's confined inside of this very loose structure, and there's a lot of really well executed ideas, and basically because it's so loose, it doesn't have to conform to anything, and it just is an opportunity to do a lot of different fights with different power sets and shit, and a lot of different people talking very, very high-mindedly, and it's fun. That's
big budget,
all about.
Big characters. Everything's big. I'm sure it gets compared to not just the Batman fight, but I'm sure a lot of other parts of it get compared to Nolan movies. Clearly, the Butcher had just been watching a bunch of Nolan movies, or he had seen a bunch of them.
Sure.
Or everyone making this had. I don't know. It just gives off that vibe. Maybe it's the coloring. I don't know. But their director
is way more charming when it's done in Japanese and very bombastically than when it's presented kind of, meekly by British actors doing American accents.
Because we're weebs. We just like it better. The director is A. Aoki. He did Ga-Ray Zero and Wandering Sun. More recently, Aldnoah Zero and Recreators and Id Invaded. That one was almost okay.
God.
Id Invaded was like a really great build up to like a conclusion or ending or twist that never happened, and it just completely falls flat on its face in like the last couple episodes. But boy, is it an intriguing like thriller up until that point. But yeah, you can see the through line of like a lot of it's like high budget, action, you know, I don't know.
He is Butcher's son.
I don't know.
He is the Butcher's son.
He is perfect to be a butcher guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alno Zero was a disaster. Obviously, I didn't see recreators. People seem to kind of like it. I don't know. I don't. If Wandering Son is a weird outlier there. That's just about a trans boy.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. But it's like 2007 or something.
Oh,
Man,
God.
no, it's like
I just realized I finished Aldo Zero.
What? You did?
Yeah.
You watched both seasons?
I'm pretty sure I did, yeah.
Jesus. I mean, not that you... I mean, I don't remember. I definitely did. I don't remember even what happened at the end.
That is... If you want to talk about some schlock, holy fuck. That is like... That's
I didn't even find it very enjoyable. Like, if you want, like... If you want schlock but like amazing, watch like Guilty Crown or something. Guilty Crown's like a much better train wreck than Aldo Zero was just like so flat, everything that happened.
Well, the thing is that it's all so obsessed with royalty and nonsense, and none of that ever appeals to me. I finished it for some reason though. I think it's because there's that horrible tragedy that happens in like the first episode, and I'm like, fuck yeah, dude.
That was the one that was. That was the one that had like Urabuchi just like did like the concept, but just like for the first episode or something. So of course like Seattle gets like hit by an a spaceship or something, and it's also soundtrack guy. What's his name? You know the guy. They got all the big names for that show, and it just didn't work.
No.
Oh my God! How can I not remember the fucking... Oh, that really annoys me. I'm bad with names. So yeah, he hasn't been killing it lately, but you know, he can direct anime probably. And then so I wrote down some predictions before I started watching. I am just killing time because it's gonna...
Here, I'm gonna go get myself a drink while you fill.
Okay.
While you're looking shit up. This is the perfect time for me to do this.
But then
this is not me sandbagging at all, I promise.
Okay. Sawano. God damn it. Hiroyuki Sawano. You gotta admit, it's a pretty generic name. It's hard to remember. A lot of guys named Hiroyuki in Japan. I knew there was some kind of U in there, and probably a Sa. Yeah. Oh,
fuck.
Are you back?
I'm back, baby.
All right. So my predictions. You can't even save yourself. I knew there's gonna be I know there's gonna be another Excalibur. She's gonna shout it. I don't even think that counts because I think I technically know that. I think I've probably seen that.
That's a motif.
I know the guy says "Kudu," and that did happen. I was correct about that one. I know everyone dies at the end because they're not in the other one. So I predicted that, except I didn't know. When Waver gets introduced, I thought he was the guy in UBW who's Caster's master, like the nerdy teacher guy, because they have sort of similar, but he's actually a different guy. And do you remember watching that spin-off, The Case Files of Lord El Malloy II?
No.
We watched the first episode of that for a seasonal preview. It's this like we were like this relates to Fate somehow, but we didn't recognize any of the characters.
Oh, maybe okay. This goes back to me. When was this?
This was a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half.
Malloy is a really interesting. Malloy.
El Malloy, yeah. Case Files, yeah. And so turns out he's the main guy in that. I didn't realize that. So that's where he ends up. And then because it's Urabuchi, I predicted, is there going to be something that we think isn't human that turns out to be human? Because that's what he does.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like because like the robots are human, the
sea
aliens are
monsters
human.
the witches are
Yeah.
human. Yeah.
Yeah, everything's human all the time.
When's the robot human?
Um, I think.
Is that something he did?
Hold on one second.
I think he did that in Kamen Rider. Are they robots? I don't think they're robots, but he did do the same twist in Kamen Rider.
I gotta see his where his anime work.
Does he do
it's the alien. I think the aliens are human in Gargantia.
Yeah. So that's what I meant by the sea.
The robots are not human.
The sea creatures. Yeah, the robot.
Actually,
well, the robot
human
in Gargantia. Oh my God! Shut the fuck up. There are no robots in Psychopaths. What are you talking about? Oh, you mean
aren't there any brains?
The AI turns out to be human brains.
There you go. That's
okay. That's like a robot, I guess. Sure. Yeah, I guess that sort of counts as a twist, even though everyone saw it coming. Oh, by the way, also in Gargantia, the robot might be the most human of us all. Isn't that nice? So things to remember about Fate. No rules. Just important. So, yeah. So this is the story of the fourth Holy Grail War. There's only been 4 of them, but then there's 2 in 10 years.
Yes, which I didn't. I'm sure they'll explain it, but I'm like, isn't this shit supposed to have a whole ton of time between them? Isn't it like they have been waiting a long goddamn time for these Holy Grail Wars?
In UBW, they say something like, that's weird. But they also make mention of how the fourth war was so weird and wild that, anything could happen. So this is that. Because, I mean, we know everything about how this ends. They explained it. They took like a whole episode to explain it in UBW about how the Grail gets destroyed and then the city gets set on fire. And then that's where we get Shiro. So, yeah, from the first episode here, we talked about this on a Discord call once a while ago, because I started this a while ago and you did too.
Yes, with June or something.
Probably, yeah. We watched this first episode, which is a double length. It still feels very dense.
Yes.
You can't, there's, you can't fault this show for not being watchable. For any criticism you have, at least these episodes feel 10 minutes long, so
yeah,
it's doing something right there. But boy, this first episode, people say you got to watch this one first. It's like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? That's I can only this. This is unimaginable to me, because it's just like fucking. So many characters. I'd be like, this has got to be some kind of gotcha.
It's like watching an idol show. Yeah, it's like watching an idol show, and it's like they're going around the academy and talking to all the different girls, and you're meeting 3 of them at a time, and it's like
there's
this is the big titty
families,
girl.
And they all it's and everyone gets summoned right in the first episode all at once. It's like, yo, it's fucking go time. It would seem like you'd think it would be completely overwhelming to just be seeing as an introduction.
It was overwhelming having seen fucking UPW.
Yeah, I mean, I had to do some Googling. I was like, wait, hold on, what? Who the fuck is?
I was having flashbacks.
Yeah.
Where's Saba?
Where's my Saba? I got back into it pretty easily. I remembered everything I had to. I remember watching this first episode in 2011 because everyone was losing their shit and it was very pretty. And I remember the one thing I remember most, I have 2 memories from 2011 of watching this. And I remember Rin's dad talking to the priest guy when he's up on the balcony. I remember them having a conversation and thinking, I don't know what the fuck these guys are talking about. And I also remember thinking, this character design is this show looks good, but this character design is kind of like plain because it's like these designs are from 2002, and his series is like that. You get used to it. And I remember the zoom out of the mansion with all the snow, and I remember being like, what is that? Is that supposed to be something I know? This is so dramatic. it's just like a building. I don't know. So I watched that first episode and was like, I don't know what's going on in there. So, and now I'm back.
This shit is all so fucking timeless. Like this show. I
It's
mean,
10 years old. It looks, yeah, it hasn't aged a bit.
and like it's just
This could air today. It'd be fine.
You were saying like the character designs are from 2002. These are incredible character designs because like I don't feel like I'm not looking at this being like this looks dated as shit, which is a huge thing you can run into. I all of this looks fucking great. I think they're immediately iconic characters, and like that's exactly what you're looking for in a series like this. You know, it's like they really did a beautiful job.
Well, yeah, it's like it looks. I mean, it looks like a show that like yeah, it could have aired like yesterday. But then sometimes the characters will turn in a way where they'll suddenly look super not bad, but just like you'll be like, oh right, these are like retro. Like they look like kind of like square and like stiff in a way where it's like, oh right, these are those designs. They like
well they have more than one angle. It's like they have the camera will move around them. And their faces have a definite shape, you know. Like each of them has a 3D head shape. It's not features slapped onto a face. It's like they're almost rendered 3-dimensionally.
It's really it's really its own thing. The character who does it, who reminds me the most of it, is the red-haired lady, who's what's his face's like partner lady, but she has a very Nasu design where she's got like these puffy sleeves, and a lot of the shots I'm just like, oh yeah, she looks fate as fuck.
Yep.
So yeah, it's still yeah. So yeah, we're getting introduced to everyone, and it's like it's like this was you're supposed to go into this sort of knowing like about the Holy Grail War, so all the mystery is sort of like dissipated now. So like it's not this like weird like, because in Fate Fate's Day Night, it's like there's this crazy, you're introduced to this concept, and then it's like they kind of like I think it honestly kind of makes it like a little bit more boring to make it be like, oh well actually this war is just fought by like these families who groom themselves to specifically be chosen for this war for thousands of years. And it's
having
not
it thrust upon people is
it is ironically not fate. It's like a very specific like scientific way of doing it.
My favorite one in this show,
businesses.
My favorite one in this show is the guy who basically stole his way in. You know, like I love that. Like a dude, like the guy from the academy, the young guy. I can't remember his name right now.
Sure.
I love. He doesn't get to do a ton in this first core, really. He's kind of just like comic relief or like the straight guy to.
Well, yeah, he's a foil. We don't even say his name. We're gonna have a whole hour on Ryder. Don't even start.
But I just love that idea of like just there's all these people that have been groomed to be here, and then just some like basically like a schmuck, and I think that's fun, and it there's some good variety going on there.
Yeah, like if there were just like one or two families, but it's like there's just all these families, and they're all just like evil in the same way, and they're all just like all messed up because you'd have to like, and they like it becomes clear in UBW that like this Holy Grail is not actually the Holy Grail, and it's not from God, and it's like clearly evil. So like everyone who's like really into it is just fucked up in some way, where like they've deluded themselves or something, where they just like still really want it, and it's been hundreds of years, and they're all just rich as shit, and they just train for this one specific thing, and like. If this was the Holy Grail, if this was the Holy Grail, it's obviously not how it would work. Like you don't like train yourself to be chosen by God for things. That's not how it ever works. What are you even talking about? So it's just like a bunch of like aristocratic families doing weird experiments to make the perfect the perfect fighter for this, and. Yeah, we meet all those again. So there's like the Ilya family, whatever their name is someone. And Ilya's mom is in this, and I was reading the Wikipedia. they had to make, her name is Iris Vel instead of Ilias
Yes.
Vel. Iris Vel, and she basically exists because Saber can't interact with Kiritsugu too much, because in Fate's Day Night, the only time she mentions him is that she like sort of knew him and like talked to him a couple times.
So they basically retconned the character in there, or
they kind of retconned it so that because she can't, she would have said more about him. So like, even though he's her master in this, they just made it so they don't like each other, so they just don't really interact. So Iris is the middleman between them, and Iris's personality is she's the depressing, cheerful lady. Mm-hmm. She's the personality of like a mom who's going to die of cancer in like 5 minutes.
Yes,
and she always acts like that. The saddest happiness.
Yeah, smiling in the face of absolute certain doom. You know.
Even though like she's not obviously doomed, I don't think. But it's just you could just tell even without knowing Fate and without having seen any of it, just by the way that she acts, you're like, oh my god, this lady is on death's door.
Yeah, she is primed to die.
Like she's frail. Yeah, perfect death material.
Yeah. She's like a fucking.
She talks like she's reassuring you, even though she's losing strength.
She is just the entirety of Clannad after story as a character.
Oh yeah,
it's just like evoking that sort of thing.
Yeah. So yeah, we meet her. Kiritsugu is a mercenary hired by their family, because maybe, I don't know, Ilya's not ready yet because she was just born or something. I don't know what the fuck is, or no, she's like, she's 8 in this, which means in UBW she's 18. Didn't know that. Nice. So there's that family, and then there's Rin's family. Rin is also a little girl, and her dad is Toki Ray or Toki something, and he is in cahoots with the third family because the third family's in a rough spot. They're in an embarrassed situation, they would say in the olden days, where they have to use worms, and I think so that okay. Let me see if I can verbally
hit me with this.
Space
Come
this
on,
out.
You got it.
Okay, so there's Rin and Sakura are the two girls, and they're half sisters. They have the same mom. Rin's dad is the Toki guy, he's the guy in the red coat. And wait, I guess I don't know for sure. One of them's dad is him.
His dad is her dad. Yes.
Okay.
This is correct.
But Sakura's dad is this sad sack guy, and she gets sent over to this third family. I don't remember why. Let's see if I could find it in my notes.
Asking why is I've stopped asking those questions.
They think they have a reason for that one.
Sure that they do. I just don't remember it. I'm like, oh.
I think
take me away, Fate.
I think Kiritsugu mentions that his wish is creating a world where everyone is happy. But he doesn't get that wish, or it's someone says that. Okay, yeah, Kirei, the priest, he's here. He has a dad who was going to be a judge in the war. I guess he was also the judge 60 years ago. So there was also a war in the, what would it be, the 30s? I found it very funny that Kirei's dad has a bigger cross around his neck. That made me laugh. Tokiomi, yes, okay. Tokiomi is in a secret alliance with the priests. Why? I don't know.
Hedging their bets.
Something. I don't know. You'd think everyone could hedge their bets by just forming one big alliance. Whatever. Kirei has a dead wife. So his wife is dead, and he's obviously a very sad, sullen man. But these two factions, because he's hired by the the Ray family, or what Ray? What the hell's her name?
Rin.
I've been calling her Ray this whole time. I probably have been.
There's a lot of names. There's a lot of people with Ray in their name. I'll let it slide, man.
I see. I need to be paying attention to the chat more. True says he's just their uncle. I don't know who he's talking about now. Someone's an uncle.
This is sad sack guy who lets himself be subjected to horrible torture.
Oh, then who's Sakura's dad? Do they have the same parents?
I think that they do. You saying that did not ring any bells to me, but I was
okay.
He
just cares about her and like sacrifices himself for her to the point that I thought. And also, they imply that Rin's mom had an affair or something, but maybe they're maybe.
Yeah. He's their uncle. Yeah. That was what I remembered it being, but I'm also like, Declan has notes, so who am I?
The first few episodes I watched a while ago, so I'm rusty on these ones. It'll get better, I swear. But yes, Secret Alliance. Kirei's wife is dead, and he's hired by these two families, and they think that he's just gonna win it for them. That's a weird thing to think about for a guy whose wife is dead. We meet Little Rin. Okay, Uncle. It's written right here. Okay, fine. I should have. I don't know what I should have done. So Sakura gets. She's gone. She's the Mato family. That's the one. So she's got good magic, and they get taken. She gets taken by them to be used for magic. There's the old guy. He's the head of the Matos. This whole family disappears for a while. Like we don't really see much of them in the first half.
They're also some fuckers. So.
Yeah, I didn't know we got the worms in the first episode. Jeez.
Yeah, they're a little.
I knew about the worms. I thought it would be towards the end or something. It's like, hey, here's these worms, and then there's no worms for like the rest of the thing.
Yeah, we've even seen that. We've seen that girl like once since then, I think.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, she doesn't. Yeah, I don't think she's doing much after the worms. And then there's also the Archibalds. Is there more than one? I guess it's him and the lady. And young Waver here, and I thought he was Kuzuki as at first, different guy, but he's an annoying, stuck-up college or high school student, and he's the student of Mr. Archibald here, and with the nice slicked back locks. Not on the screen, mind you. None of my screenshots are in order. And I think it's the school that Rin and Shiro end up in the epilogue of UBW. But Kaneth is the teacher, and Waver steals his invite, his golden ticket, which is, it's always funny how you can just like, these are like gods and there's magic, but you can just like steal, you can just steal something, and it just works out for you.
Well, there's a conversation later in the show where these guys are talking about, it's like God he loves the destruction, he loves people and the meddling of humans and everything. He thinks it's great. He thinks it's entertainment. It's like, that's the kind of thing you would do if you're a god. I'm like, I'm just for yucks, I'm going to set these up so that if you physically steal one, you're invited. Just because, like, just to see what'll happen. Because these people have been currying my favor for centuries, but just for the fucking sake of it, I'm gonna see what happens if I make it.
It's also the most. It's also why it's so perfect for Urabuchi, because it's the most him thing to like take magic that's so like wild that it's practically like Lovecraftian. And then just have like, what if there were guns too? What if a guy got shot with a gun?
Like this Calico submachine gun would be cool for one of my guys to use against the fucking T-1000 from Terminator 2.
Just a guy watching like a guy on a fucking magical chariot through a sniper scope. It's like Urabuchi is thinking about writing this, just like drooling,
it's like fucking two degrees removed from Percy Jackson, basically.
It's a fan film, Percy Jackson.
Yeah, this is the dark, edgy Percy Jackson film we've all wanted to see. Finally, somebody's doing the series justice.
Mm-hmm.
They should definitely get a Urabuchi.
This is YN. Yeah, this is good. This is some good YN content. This is
Absolutely.
What YN wants.
This is what they want. Yeah, this is Animorphs.
Sure.
I was talking to my buddy about Animorphs recently.
I never read an Animorphs.
Animorphs.
I always saw the covers and was like, these are either going to be. I forget if I thought they were like scary or just like because of the cover. I thought they were probably just going to be so weird that I was going to be put off by them.
You're correct on both accounts, my friend.
Oh, okay.
It is deeply hold on, I gotta send you this.
Some of the covers are not. I love the fake. Yep. I love the fake ones people make where it's just like a you know.
Fuck, I'm dying.
Like a politician turning into something, or they're fucking they're eye grabbing. They're eye grabbing for sure. The unknown. Really I love the unknown.
The solution.
Never underestimate the power of a morph. They were like, what's the least racist animal we can have a black guy turn into? Or is that a girl? It's a very feminine face if that's a boy.
Oh God. Oh, this is so fucking funny. I can't believe
that is extremely funny, yeah. They were like, this is cutting edge graphics. Yeah, the ant one. Oh, that's not even morphed. That's just what he's like.
Oh, I hate that.
K.A.
I hate that so much. Oh God. Anyway.
Fuck what's it called? Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah, this is true. Is way more.
This is true. Yeah, existential dread.
Anyway, I was talking to my friend about these. So in these books, kids just get snuffed all the time. And,
they just get like doomed to become. But
they also get stuck in their animal form.
Yeah, they come back with like a chicken brain, and they're like just brain dead forever or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like who thought that this was a good idea?
Me.
But anyway, yeah, this is Orobuchi should do a reboot of Animorphs. I think he would know exactly what to do with it.
It might be too much for him. You got to give him some boundaries. You got to put up some fences.
What if you transformed into a crocodile, but the crocodile was actually human the whole time? What does that mean? What's that going to do for you?
Means. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. So he steals the golden ticket, and then the first servant who shows up, assassin. Not the most exciting design, just like a spooky ninja looking dude. Let's see. I'm just gonna read that Kiritsugu has been taken in by the Einsburns because he got really strong magic, and Kirei knows him. Oh yes, and he's a mage killer. He's known as a mage assassin, and all these families are very, very good at intel gathering, which you'd expect. But there's some things they don't know, that it's weird they don't know. But most of this in the beginning is just them sneaking and scheming and spying. Because they're just doing surveillance on the people who end up being chosen, which I guess you can figure out how, like, they're very likely to be chosen because the Grail is surprisingly predictable. But still, it's like they're already all, gathering intel on each other. So Karia, decides to take over the worms from Sakura. He gets done with worm time. He looks a bit worse now, but he's super magic, I guess. And then Waver gets chosen, and he like commandeered a pair of old folks to take him in some foreign country. I guess it's Japan.
He's got to use his magic powers to fucking to manipulate them into thinking it's their grandkid or whatever. He
force tricks them, and then Karia does his summon after he has a heartfelt talk with Sakura, and everyone just summons, and then oh my gosh, it's Lisa. That was novel in 2011. It was like, hey, Lisa did a song. That's cool.
Yeah,
she's not gonna do every opening for every Sword Art Online. This is before Sword Art Online. Well, that was so that's hopefully the rest of this won't be too much, explaining and summarizing. That was just, we had to get that out of the way because that was the first episode. It was
now that we've established exactly what this is, we can finally talk about the things we we want to talk about in this series.
Yeah. So let's see. What's important? Ryder's important. We just talk about Ryder.
Let's just fucking not even bullshit right now. Ryder's the best.
None of these characters. A lot of these characters are good. None of these characters even deserve to be in the same series as Ryder.
I really like a lot of these characters, but he's the GOAT. He might be the greatest anime character of all time.
It's absurd. It's ridiculous to make a character this good. It's not even fair to the other characters.
It's lightning. He's like the best like beefcake shonen guy ever. I love him.
It's crazy. It's like if this guy was real, he would actually take over the world. He's fucking Trump, dude. He's like you can't you can't
flim flam him, dude.
Yeah.
He's Teflon. Everything rolls off him, and he's always got the right response, and he always has the right attitude, and it's like. There's a being above it all that comes across as arrogant, and then there's a being above it all that is completely deserved and earned and felt. And this guy's got it, man. You can
do there's tons of like big, manly macho guys who are very likable. That's an anime character. You see that a lot.
Yeah.
Somehow he just fucking skyrockets past all of them. It's crazy. And then the one episode, he just starts talking real shit, and it's like he's right about everything. It's like he explains his whole philosophy, and you think that he's just like conqueror guy who just rides horses and just conquers stuff and just drinks wine and rapes and whatever, like Gilgamesh is. But no, he has a totally consistent. He's fucking smarter than everyone else.
No, he has an airtight worldview. There are no holes. There are no holes in his vision of the world. A completely perfect and unquestionable ego. It is as intact as can possibly be. Absolute confidence, and it's completely deserved. And he does it without being cruel or unfair.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's out of control.
There's a line in Apocalypse Now where Colonel Kurtz is talking about being brutal but fair, and it's like that's exactly what it is. It is like the ideal leader of men, the ideal soldier. He barely does any violence. He's like he really likes to like. Perfect character for Fate. He really likes to drag things out and like just he doesn't he's also his first resort. His first resort is not violence in a way that is
when he shows up there's like an entire episode of fighting. There's one episode that's just like Saber and Lance are fighting, I think, and then he shows up and he's like why don't we all just no one besides him would sound convincing saying that, especially in this context.
Yeah.
And I was listening, and the way he does it and the way they present it and the way the scene works out, everyone just being like, nah, is like, what the fuck are you doing? No one would say no to this guy. It's unthinkable.
Well, like he literally he's the kind of guy that is like, I'm like, we have this conflict we need to resolve. I'm just going to call Archer. I'm gonna call fucking Saber, and I'm gonna get them to sit down over some wine, and we're gonna hash this shit out.
Well, no, in the first one, when he's in the when they're in like with all the shipping crates containers.
Yeah.
And he just shows up like friends, It's like you'd follow this guy into anything. The English dub of him should have been Alex Jones.
Like he. Yeah, obviously I was referencing the later instance of this, but even just like his mentality about like it's just the clothes that he picks are endearing. Like just the way his outfit that he chooses to fit into this human world is is a perfectly fitting pair of jeans and a tight video game T-shirt.
Well, because it has he has a picture of the world on it, and he likes the idea of the entire. He likes maps and shit. Yeah. Oh god. Oh, and he's Alexander the Great, by the way. He's Kendar.
He's the best ever.
But he's Ryder in this one, so they just call him Ryder. And in the other one, Ryder is the big booby lady with the blindfold. But in this one, he's Ryder.
And obviously, I do like a lot of the other characters in this, but he just is the best. There's nothing you could do.
Oh god, it's
all-consuming charisma, man.
A lot of my notes are just like I'm gonna flip the fuck out and spaz hard when Ryder dies, and I'm gonna be like, this is fucking bullshit. Fuck this.
When Ryder sacrifices himself nobly for some sort of greater cause or whatever.
For Waver, he's gonna sacrifice himself for Waver, and it's gonna be I wonder if that's what finally, and like I get that you have to give him a foil, but like Waver's too much, man. Like he has to like he can at least respond neutrally to something. He can't just always be like, idiot, like what? He's too, you can give him like I
thought he was kind of dopey.
You can give him a stick in the mud, but just like he's too much of a stick in the mud. He's too negative.
I really a little shit. Because he's really getting pulled around with everything, and like at a certain point, he sort of loses all control over his own life in any meaningful way. So
yeah, but like they're mostly what I'm talking about. It's just when he's talking to Ryder, and Ryder will just say something that is either totally inconsequential or just like a natural or good suggestion, and he will just like practically spit on the ground next to him. And it's like, yo, dude, what the fuck's your problem? It goes on for so much longer than it should. He should fucking get with the program.
Recognize that he's in the presence of greatness.
Of a Sigma, yeah. So, oh yeah, and Waver's wish he's gonna for the Holy Grail is he wants people to respect him. Just fucking dude.
I think about everybody's Holy Grail wishes is that I assume none of them are actually what they wish. I assume that it's all
lying.
Either lying or lying
self-deluding, where it's like, when you get it, it's probably.
Or they're going to change it at some point. Like so I don't really take any of their wishes super seriously.
What they never talk about is, has anyone ever gotten their wish? Like, why do they never bring up like, who has anyone ever won this thing?
Yeah, whoever lost the last one was a real fucker.
You know what? I bet I can look this up on the wiki. Who won the third one? Who won the one before this? Third Holy Grail War. Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, there's the third Fuyuki Holy Grail War or the third Ainsworth Holy Grail War.
This is
I forget. Yeah, there's two universes. Let's see. Let's. Fourth. Okay. All right. Third Holy Grail War, 1930s. Yes. On the eve of World War II. Uh-oh. I think I know who won. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's see. Jube Stakes, von Eisburn. Okay. Then all the families are still here.
I gotta go off on Google Foods again real quick.
The Zoroastrian god Angra Mainyu was
That's
here.
Cool.
He was the berserker, I guess. Okay. During the Courser. What? The Course, does it mean? The Lesser Grail with the Imperial Army and the Nazis as well. Is this even in English? Who wrote this? Okay. So basically, the third Holy Grail War was World War II. World War II. Okay, Angra Mainyu was absorbed and the Greater Grail was contaminated. No one ever wins this. You see what I mean? Okay, so this is up until that up until that point, only true heroic spirits were summoned, but that contamination allowed for something other than a heroic spirit to be summoned during later Holy Grail wars. So every war just ends in the rules becoming more fucked up and everything being worse.
I kind of like that.
I guess that's like a parable or something.
Yeah, I like that.
The second Holy Grail war, can you guess? 1860s. Oh,
Wait a minute. All of this shit happened in the last 250 years or 150?
The second one developed into a murder spree in which nobody survived. It ended with no victory. All right.
There was all good spirits.
Okay, the first one, 1800. Did anyone win? If you want to witness this miracle, and become masters, the outside magi. It was not a major conflict in the end, and can be called a small quarrel of sorts. Due to the we really ramped things up.
Man, Fate's the fucking sickest. All this is so awesome. It's just the best. The idea that the first Holy Grail War was a squabble is amazing. Where it's like
it was just a weird but it was just a bunch of people being like, that was weird.
Like everybody as they tried to assert their dominance over the next Holy Grail War, increasingly made the stakes so much higher.
How does anyone know how this works if it's never been won? That is so funny. Shit.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Like if there's the serious possibility of whoever wins this gets their wish granted, you probably need to win that shit.
But I wonder who even suggested that was a possibility. Like, how would they know? So yeah, I guess the first one was like a bunch of these families like doing some kind of magic ritual to reach Akasha. I don't know what that is, but I guess maybe they were just trying to be immortal or something. Akasha, fate. Akasha is a metaphysical location within the Nasuverse as the force that exists at the top of all theories on dimensions. Okay, so they were trying to like reach the Holy Mountain or some shit, and they ended up summoning something that they called the Holy Grail. And the three families originally planned to utilize it, realized that the system can only allow for one person to utilize it. So they broke apart, and then became enemies. All right. So that's how that happened. That makes sense, I guess.
This image of the Animorphs cover with the horse, it might be the funniest image I've ever seen in my entire life.
I like it.
I can't even, because it really is like it captures everything. It's like the idea
every emotion.
Of horses as a thing. You would have like a poster on your wall. You got like a person in like the 90s who's kind of gender ambiguous black person wearing a blue t-shirt.
They kind of look like a Quake model. Yeah.
it's super even lighting. So
the fact that a horse isn't even a very horrifying animal to turn into. It's like you get to run around and stuff.
A completely nondescript facial expression.
Very neutral,
the one turning into a mouse, she's got like a look of disgust on her face, and like all of this some of these look like real people, some of them don't.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they chose the most photoshoppable. Who else is here? There's a serial killer who seems to have just accidentally found a summoning book, which is very unfortunate. And then he summons another serial killer, which is also very unfortunate. And he's also from a family of mages, which is I guess why he's good at magic. Another very Urabuchi thing is like you have this thing, and it's like, yo, what if there was a fucking serial killer, dude? What if there was a guy who was like fucked up and wasn't playing by the rules? It's like, well, already no one's playing by the rules, but this guy I guess is extra not playing by the rules. So
I like how he's like doesn't even seem engaged with what the Holy Grail War is at all.
Not really, not at all. He doesn't even know about it, I don't think.
Yeah, he's just got his homie, and they're going around murdering children. You know,
yeah, this Igor-looking dude.
Quasimodo-looking fucking motherfucker.
Yeah, there's when he gets summoned, like the serial killer. What's his name? Rio. I forget. The modern guy, he's just finished killing a family, and then this dude shows up, and they do a obvious fake out where he like takes a kid, and he's like, I'm not gonna kill and eat this kid, and I'm like, he's probably gonna kill and eat that kid, and then he does, and this series is like, it's surprisingly good at finding like seemingly very important historical figures who I have never heard of, and who have very long Wikipedia articles. Bluebeard, Guile de Ray or something. I thought he was gonna. I was taking guesses. I thought he was gonna be either Jack the Ripper or Aleister Crowley, but it was Guile de Ray.
Aleister Crowley. That would be slander. Aleister Crowley. He didn't kill anybody.
Well,
right?
in his first scene, he said like he gives some impression that he's into the occult, which Guile de Ray was accused of. But then again, a lot of people were accused of that back then, especially if you were killing and eating kids.
You know what they should do is they should get like in the next one, in the next Fate. Call me Urabuchi. I got some ideas, but they should get like JFK. It's like JFK shows up.
He's not much of a I don't know. It's like JFK. First of all, I mean, like I guess ladies would like him. He can get sucked off. That could be his what do they call their weapons?
My superpower is that I have an exceptionally weak skull. My superpower is that my head is at a very high pressure at all times.
If I stand at the right angle in this tunnel, I can whistle through my skull hole.
My superpower is that I get extra enjoyment about driving in a convertible car. Why? I don't know. Was it anyway? JFK maybe a bad one. What the fuck
was that? That's the worst. That's a terrible one. That's why him?
That would be a bad power, wouldn't it?
He can't do it. He was just a dude who was charismatic and got shot. He didn't even really do much as president. He's oh no, you'd have to have like
Osama bin Laden.
Osama bin Laden would be a good, like, he would be like a Curie character where he's just like really good at setting off like explosives and planning stuff. Yeah, he's like Homura. A lot of this is obviously, of course, the year that Urabuchi made it. This is the year he went over, as they say, and Madoka and this in 1 year is like
is
crazy, of course. And you can draw many similarities in the some of the characters, the plot, the way the wishes, like they're both about things that grant a wish, and then the wish ends exactly the same way, where the wish is to destroy the thing that grants the wishes. So, and then Kiritsugu is basically Homura. And what were we talking about? Oh yeah, Guile de Ray. Guile de Ray. So Kirei, the priest, meanwhile, immediately betrays the Tosakas.
Yes.
Or wait, it was a fake. What happened? I think it's a fake betrayal to lure out someone. I don't know. But he orders assassin to kill Rin's mom. Assassin is some Islamic guy that I've never heard of, by the way. Oh, and I didn't finish talking. Yeah, Guile de Ray was Joan of Arc's buddy, or in her ranks, and then he killed a bunch of kids, probably.
Fall from grace, huh?
Oh, you cut out at the beginning there, but yeah,
that's a real fall from grace. Really fucked that one up.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it allowed him to do, to fight so hard. You don't know.
True.
There's two sides to every story. That's
true.
Really what this is about.
That's what I learned. Yeah, and that's like, we gotta wait and hear what Brian Laundrie has to say.
Yeah,
because
I would love to hear if he did. How funny would it be if like he goes on the run and like almost like dies in the forest, and then he comes back. He's just like and he makes up this, like the worst, most predictable like JCS story about how like she like makes up a story that like
she was threatening to kill me, and she
makes up a story that involves all these details that would be obvious to disprove or would leave some kind of evidence that isn't there, and he doesn't have to do because all he has to say is that she just like ran away or something, or better yet, nothing. Better yet, for his situation.
Yeah, well, all the people in those JCS videos, they really do be just like talking to cops without a lawyer.
Yeah, no, it's like
it's ridiculous. I can't believe the shit.
Because it's, and you can't blame people, but people don't know, people don't understand the dynamic, and like, they don't understand what's going on, and yeah, like they so yeah, they I think about like
constantly. Yeah, go ahead.
I think about like, do you ever go through like scenarios in your head where it's like, look, I really don't want to murder someone, but if I did, here's you're like planning for hours on how you would run away from the cops and how you would hide. Yeah. Does anyone else?
Oh yeah, okay. No. When I'm in sleep, I'm going to sleep. I'm like,
yeah, that's a great going to sleep.
What if I wanted to?
Like how you would change out license plates and how you would throw your cell phone away.
Yes,
where in the woods you could hide. Yeah,
of course.
Preach. Yeah, I've never even been in a fight, and
and I have no desire.
I think it's probably a healthy thing to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case
I have to fire through my front door and kill 8 SWAT team officers, and have to get out of here ASAP.
Look,
to remember to leave some food for my cat, and
just in case Ellen Powell and I are in a situation where
I love how it's always still Ellen Powell way after she's relevant.
Nobody's thought about it fucking 6 years.
Yeah.
Of course you got to think about it. You're like, what would be the ultimate tool for it?
But then I always end up on like, I'm always having fun thinking about that, and then I end up on like, would my mom like help protect me from the cops? It's like, no. Absolutely not. My mom would sing like a canary to anyone in any position of authority who knocked on her door. A random dude could knock on my mom's door and be like, hey, where's Declan right now? And she would just be like, well, I think he's probably like, they'd be like, what is he what is he like?
Can you even trust your family if they're the kind of people that wouldn't blow you in? Because the thing is they don't understand that they don't understand how things they say, what's going to happen, and who can lie and when and what, they like, because they'll like, someone's looking for you, they'll knock on your mom's door and be like, oh, he's not in trouble, we're just kind of worried about him, we want to know where he is, And she'll yell at you, you're hiding down in like the broom closet. She's like, "Oh, honey, they say they're not going to get you in trouble." Now she's dead, and then
well, now I got to put one through my temple.
Another thing I've been thinking about a lot is, I'm like, something that brings me so much relief would be being brought in for a crime that I know I did not commit because I didn't do it. And then you're like,
that's very bittersweet. That's like, yeah, you're like, I actually don't know.
Yeah, because like they're like gonna try to break you or whatever, and it's like, no, like I didn't do it. No,
yeah.
Where's my bring me a lawyer, of course, but like I didn't do it. So if you guys want help, I can help you, but I need a lawyer. Like I'm not just fucking. I can't. You guys, this is it's not me. I think it would be pretty much immediately apparent that I didn't do it. Like,
yeah, you'd hope so. You'd really hope so.
Yeah, gotta be so funny. It's like you just get.
I mean, because you get brought in, it's probably like, even if you had nothing to do with it, it's probably like someone who died or who got murdered.
Right.
So you have to, you have to you still have to say nothing because they're going to ask you questions like, what did you think of this person? And if you're like, I didn't. They were fine. Like it sounds so guilty no matter what you say. If you're like, oh, they were great, I loved them. I loved spending time with them. They were, or if you're like,
You're not crying. We notice you're not crying right now.
Yeah, you seem pretty calm and you seem pretty calm considering your neighbor just got strangled to death, and you're just like, oh well, I didn't talk to him that much.
Now, Declan, are you on drugs right now?
Yeah, it's like that's like one of those doctor questions where it's like you try to answer it accurately, you sound like a fucking moron. You're like, you're on any drugs right now, and you're like, caffeine. And they're like, any like prescriptions or like anything illegal? And you're like, no.
Not prescription per se.
You're like, you ever done any illegal drugs? And you're just like, I smoked weed when I was like 16 or like 19 or something. They're like 16 or 19. That's like, yeah, you
what
can't.
About pills? You ever go to a party?
Have you ever seen a video where one of those amateur pedophile hunter guys just like runs up to a guy and they get the wrong guy and they just got a random guy by accident? It's there's at least one of those, and it's very funny. It goes down exactly how you'd expect, where like the guy just seems completely guilty because he's like hey, it's like I saw one where a guy just runs up to this dude at like a bus station or a train station or something, and he's like this very shitty. He's the most Boston looking dude you've ever seen. He's like this skinny, like kind of like shaved head, like white guy, and like he looks like a child molester, I guess. But that's only because it's in this context. And this guy's like yelling all this stuff at him about like, you got this app on your phone, man, bro. Let me see the messages. You got the messages. I know you got the messages. I've been talking to you. And the guy seems completely guilty because he's just like, what are you talking? What app? But he's still like entertaining. Like he's still like because you'd think you'd just be like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man, and just keep walking. But he's like, what app? And he's like going through his phone, like, I don't know what you mean, man. I'm like, what app? Like, because that's normally a sign of guilt when you're like giving them, when you're like even entertaining, giving into demands. When you start following commands from a stranger, that's how you seem guilty. But this is just but he's doing it, and then at one point he goes like, man, I know what you're talking about. I'm going to detox right now. I'm literally going to fucking detox. So he just ran up to a fucking heroin addict trying to get his life together and accused him of being a pedophile. And at one point, the guy behind the camera realizes that like there was some inconsistency. Like the guy said he was gonna drive there, and the guy took the bus there. So it's like, oh, he could have been you. He doesn't apologize at all. He just walks away going like, yeah, keep your don't let your life get fucked up, man. Like he just says some like passive aggressive.
Okay, well, if I were to accuse somebody that I thought was genuinely pedophile of being a pedophile, and I got the wrong guy, I would kill myself. I would bring a gun with me.
You'd be like, oh. Yeah, you would fucking be like, here is a gun, please shoot me. I am so sorry.
Yeah, no, I deserve this.
Just please cut my head off ritualistically.
Honestly, I'm not worthy of death.
Yeah. I'm your slave now.
You would like to torture me. I owe you a life debt.
Exactly.
God, fuck, I had something.
I don't know.
It was related to this.
I gotta get this.
No, it's gone.
Oh. Something about talking to being interrogated. I don't know.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just fucked up my audio for a second. I'm back.
Yeah. And Garugamesh is here. So that's what's happening. And Gilga has a lot of conversations with both Kirei and Rin's dad throughout this whole thing. One thing I do really like is how all the heroes, like, there's some like, funny fish out of water stuff, but basically all these heroes like get summoned and they really all just like think the present sucks. They're just like, this place stinks. None of them like it.
Yes.
They don't fit in at all. They're all very pre-modern people. And then, what was I going to say? There's particle effects. That's what I was going to say.
Lots of them in the air. God rays.
Yeah. It's before all those particles in the PS4, we got these particles. So this is when we find out that the betrayal was in fact fake out. The Tosakas and Kirei are still buds, still in on it, and it was all Kikakudori. So this made me wonder, in the visual novel, you gotta fuck your servant, or at least like lick him a whole lot to give the mana. What happens with dude servants? Or is this the only series where dudes are paired with dudes, so they just got rid of that part?
I don't. You might have just made that up. I don't. I'm not familiar with this concept.
Did you know that Fate Stay Night was an erotic visual novel with sex scenes?
What?
You didn't forget that? Did you really forget that? It was a porno.
I didn't know about the licking.
I was joking. You don't literally have to lick them, but you have to basically fuck them.
I gotcha. Okay. So there's like an erotic thing or like some sort of sensual component. I did not know about that. I knew that there.
That was only Shiro because he had fucked magical circuits. Oh, it was a flimsy excuse to. It was another flimsy excuse. You know what? I'm gonna forgive that one.
Yeah, because it's like that seems like an ass pull. You know.
Yeah, literally. An unguarded ass pull. What's the famous? Defenseless anus. I'm glad we have that excuse because we got lines like that out of it. We got lines like a defenseless anus.
Nice.
Or whatever the other one is that I mentioned in the last episode. So, also by the way, it's the 90s because the next one's in 2004. This was 10 years earlier. It's 1994, baby. Billy Clint makes a cameo. Let's see. Ryder rules continues to. There's multiple assassins. Everyone's got their own little gimmick. Don't know what's happening. I've written here. There's. So Kiritsugu and his gang arrive in Japan. Oh, we finally get Seiba in a dang suit. And I wasn't sure why Ilya mom is even here because she's not the master. Maybe she has to sacrifice herself for some reason. I know plot-wise it's because, again, there has to be a middleman between Saber and Kiri. And this is the episode where you can check guns off your Urobuchi bingo card. Because there's a lot of guns.
There you get bad guns. They got some exotic shit going on.
A lot of briefcases full of guns.
Homeboy's got a Walther 2000. There's a fucking Calico P50.
He brought all these. It's the 90s. You can just bring all this stuff on a plane to Japan.
God, man, Seiba, what a fuck. We were talking earlier about the designs being iconic. Seiba's just like it will always work.
I can't even point out anything. I can't even describe her. It's like she's blonde. She looks cool. It's like you can't even. There's no features, but somehow it just works.
I would say
she looks proud. I don't.
I was going to say, there's a dignity and a pride. Yeah. Like she's very resolute looking. How do you quantify this?
Yeah, I don't know. It's impossible.
How could somebody look resolute? How could somebody look honorable? Well, she does.
It's like one of those cats that just like looks a certain way for some reason.
Yeah.
Just because of its eyebrows. I don't know.
Yeah, like it's like even in the suit, it's it's obviously
the suit works very well for her. Yeah.
And it's dignified.
They do give her nice big shoulders to sort of imitate the armor that she normally has. Yeah. So that's good. I'm answering a lot of my own questions in here. Sorry, there's going to be a lot of that. Ilya's mom is a decoy, at least for this particular thing. They try to do this assassin fake out, but Kiritsugu is onto it. And he has another lady in a suit helping him. Her name's Maya. And also he makes out with her. I don't know. I didn't know what was going on there. He only does that once. And then it's time for fighting.
Is there some sort of cheating going on? But no, it doesn't seem like they're in some sort of erotic relationship because we'd see more of that.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Maybe that comes up later. I don't know. But hey, it's Lancer. He's here. He's one that got brought back. He's in a slightly different outfit. It's more muted. It's not as blue, but he's back. And then episode 4 is mostly a fight between him and Seiba. And I think this was probably one of those first shows that like really pushed anime to get like heavier, crunchier sound design, because the 2010s is rife with these loud, blown out, explosion, any loud sound effects. And this seems like it basically has that. So I wonder if this sort of got the ball rolling on that one. But yeah, a lot of fighting. It's a lot of going all out. And Lancer is some Irish guy. I was reminded of that. And then Ryder, crashes the party, and they don't even consider his offer. I was very upset by that. And then basically everyone shows up at that fight. Somehow they all just know to go there. So Berserker shows up, and fucking Archibald shows up. It seems like everyone just forgot about Ryder for a little bit, because Berserker and Lancer are about to take out Saber, and they're like, this is gonna work. And then like Ryder just like sideswipes him, and it's like they forgot about him because the camera wasn't on him for a couple scenes. I don't know.
They got gigantic. He's got a chariot with him at all times. I think he's a little conspicuous. That's the
tightrope this series is not even really trying to walk, but it's like there's 14 people who want to kill each other, and they're all magical gods, and they're all standing in Modern Warfare shipment, and they're still like taking each other on 2 by 2, And it's,
there's something I like about the gallantry of this. There's so much like talk of like I respect you as a warrior.
If everyone was like super like honorable Ryder types, or some variation of that, like Ryder and Gilgamesh and Saber, those three, then yeah, sure. But it's like it's very obvious from the get go that there's everyone's a scoundrel in here. Yeah. Yeah. As soon as someone ambushes you, you're like, whoa, fuck this.
Yep.
I'm not being a sucker and being nice about all this. So, yeah, they're even though everyone is just like dogpiling each other, no one dies in that one. So in episode 6 we get the car driving scene, which is very silly. Oh boy, you're cutting out real hard. Get closer to the mic or something.
Hello. We do some drift on. Driving is fun.
That's a fun quirk to give Iris, considering she's been sort of mopey cheerful for most of it. So that's a fun silly thing to have her do, I guess. Also going way overboard with like the reflection on the car and shit, and just not even really trying to make it look congruous, which kind of makes it work somehow. I can't even hear if you're talking. Yeah, you're deteriorating.
Oh, no.
Something's fucking up.
I'll see you from the other side of the void, my friend.
Okay.
I'll see you. Am I back?
Yeah, it seems like it.
The car is very stylized, we'll say.
Yeah. And then they just they run into Castor, French guy, and he thinks that that she's Joan of Arc. Saber is, for some reason, which this is probably why I originally thought Saber was Joan of Arc. Somehow that information got to me and I got confused. Meanwhile, Castor's guy has just been kidnapping kids this whole time, I guess. And Archibald lives in a wacky video game challenge tower where he has floors, and each floor has a different. He's like, just try to scale my mystical hall of trials. It's like, ooh, you solved my riddle. How will you escape my room of spikes and angry pit bulls?
Yeah. This is the ice room where the floor is a little slippery.
Yeah. It was like, there's mini bosses, and then and I went, because there's like an aerial shot of the building. I'm like, Kiri's gonna blow up this building, and then he immediately blows up the building. Oh no, you know what it was? It was when they confirmed that everyone was out of the building and completely safe. I was like, this building's gonna blow up. This shit's going down.
fucking love blowing that building up. This shit's awesome. It's a great looking shot too. There's the wide of the fucking building exploding and like collapsing. It's a great looking shot. It really has like a really awesome amount of momentum to it. The flames rising from the fucking base of the thing. It's sick. It's probably the most striking image in the show so far. And it's you would think that they would be doing this shit more often.
No one really thinks to like everyone is like very paranoid at sometimes and very not paranoid at other times. Like people are just driving around, walking through town, but then and like they're just like eating and drinking stuff from each other, not worried about getting poisoned. And
all the time.
But just people will just show up. Other servants will just show up and they'll know where you are, and no one freaks out and is like, we gotta fucking hide or do something, So,
InfoSec does not exist.
But also there's bats with cameras. It's like everyone's doing surveillance and no one cares about being surveilled for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just an open secret where everybody is all the time.
Kinda, yeah. But sometimes they don't know. Sometimes they have to do some sleuth work. It's another one of those things that you can get a little inconsistent if you think about it. It's just in the back of my mind, I'm just like trying to keep track of like, okay, where is everyone and who knows what? And you can't, it's just like, it'll tell you what it wants you to know. But good explosion. And then Kirei and Maya fight. And then Gilgamesh talks to Kirei, something about a root and a world exterior. He's talking about stuff we don't know about yet. And then
it's like esoteric fucking other realities and stuff.
They know something about like the higher, about how the Grail works and then dimensions and who knows. And so they talk for a while, and in a vague way where I can't really understand what it means, but he's obviously scheming. Kirei should not be doing anything, he says, because he's so schemy. How can he not tell? I don't know. He shouldn't really have to do anything, he says. He's in charge. Seems like it.
Yeah.
Anyways, Archibald is obviously not dead. He is instead inside an orb. And the guys responding to this blown up building are like, "Hey, I'm gonna stick my hand in this big liquid metal orb at the center of this collapsed building. Are you guys cool with that?" And the other guy's like, "Yeah, man, cool. Go for it. That's a good idea." Maybe it'll feel really good, like a giant, like a huge boob, or maybe it'll be like super smooth or warm or something.
Check it out. Look at this big old tit I found.
Maybe it's full of dollar bills.
Holy shit.
Maybe you should reach inside. Maybe it's full of dollar bills.
Yeah, even if it's full of pennies, there's a lot of volume
that's
here.
That's a lot of pennies. Put that in the Coinstar. They take like 10%, but I think it's worth it when you take into account the time it takes to roll those fucking things,
What is the worst that could possibly happen?
I don't think anything really happens to that guy. I think he just gets mind control or something. So really, maybe it was worth it.
What is the worst that can happen?
That's the kind of guy that responds to like, "Hey, a building just collapsed. You should go in." Like, sweet dude, I'll get a souvenir. These guys have
fucking Prometheus syndrome, where they're like, just touch this thing we don't understand at all.
Like, whoa, man, that rebar might give you tetanus. Anyways, I'm gonna stick my hand in this orb.
It's like my brain can't even process what I'm looking at, but I think tactile response is the only thing I should do here. I should just go and give it a common old feel.
You put out these flares so everyone can see where they're stepping, so no one trips and breaks their ankle. I'm gonna stick my hand in this orb.
Yo! Bring that flashlight over here so I can see what's inside when I put my head in here. I'm gonna look around.
I'm gonna put my dick in this orb.
Yo, do you think there's like a pussy on the other side? What if there's like what if it's like it just encases your penis perfectly? Oh, this could be the chance of a lifetime. What are we're gonna call some eggheads from the government to come clean this up? This is our turf. So are men dying in here? I deserve this.
No. We're not sacrificing the pride of Canary Industries just to give our authority to this orb to someone else.
Fucking people just the first people to go to Chernobyl in radio suits. They're like, I'm just gonna there's this big kind of like glowy thing. I'm just gonna put my hand on it. It kind of looks like ooze. How bad could it really be?
I don't know if anyone did that per se, but it was almost on that level.
elephant's foot. Again.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying this is the kind of mentality
the equivalent.
that these guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This is not a good thing you should be touching.
No, we've done that bit.
I was thinking about, I've seen so much UFO table stuff like interpolated terribly to 60 frames per second on YouTube that I think I just like sometimes like hallucinate it when I'm watching the show. Like my brain just goes into it.
They really do fucking fluid.
Yeah, but also like this is the exact kind of show that just attracts the particular type of moron who thinks that like, dude, it's like 60 frames. It's like, it looks so smooth. It's like, oh my God.
It's like none of these lines are real. It's all like it's all jagged nonsense.
Half of these frames are Google Deep Dream nonsense.
Yeah, they're just broken. It's like it
Yeah.
just looks like they rendered a video wrong and then added those frames in. That's another thing where like people
I'm gonna start taking like anime fight scenes and like Tyler Durden just putting my ball sack and dick into half of the frames and just sending them to people like going, dude, it's fucking 60. It's fucking 60 frames, dude.
Well, the thing is,
yeah, half of them are my fucking nuts.
People will watch entire episodes of anime that are in the corner of the screen. It'll be
with Spanish subtitles.
Reversed image with Spanish subtitles in the corner of the screen.
Reversed image.
A giant image in the background, or like the remaining 3/4 of the screen is Sasuke throwing up fucking blood gang signs
with ads on a pirate website.
Yeah, and it's Sasuke wearing fucking Luffy's outfit, throwing up the blood sign while doing a Kamehameha.
The site has its own anime character mascot that is itself a ripoff of another anime character that they could have just stolen because they're already stealing anime.
It's Goku with pink hair, and
like a bandana. He has like a crip. He has like a band. He has a fucking bandana. Yeah.
He's wearing a black gi and a crip bandana, and he's got an iPod that he's holding up, and it shows that he's listening to Lil Boosie. And
so specific.
The thing is that this is not that far off. This was real.
No, that's not really.
This was real. We were there.
Oh, it's still real, dude. There's still sites like that for sure.
What are these? Where am I going? I'm gonna watch anime free
I don't
online.
even know. I don't even know how you'd find it. Like it just comes up occasionally. I don't even know how it would happen. I'm dying. That's
funny. AnimePlanet.com. Let's see what we got.
That one I think that's been around for a long time. I don't know if that's going to be super garbage.
Stream anime.
Manga ones are also pretty wild.
The manga ones, but you're more likely to actually find what you're looking for on those.
Well, yeah, it's still just like a JPEG, and you just click to go to the next page. You know, it's like it's not. Yeah. They don't have crazy shit going on.
I want like 3 things removed from Kiss anime, basically. Like it's what I'm looking. I want like Kiss anime's bastard cousin.
I bet there's even jankier ones than Kiss anime. I mean, especially the Spanish language ones. I bet you could find some Latin American anime pirated websites that are fucking top notch. They're out there. There's not indexed on Google.
They're Russian. They got Cyrillic fucking subtitles. And shit.
Oh, that's the best. Yeah. So, in the story, what happens is the sort of the puppet masters here, the rulers of the game, they decide that the war is suspended until Castor dies because he's too chaotic, and because he's murdering Chillums, which is of course ridiculous because no one's following the rules. But you're also immediately like, okay, well, no one's going to follow this rule. No one's going to follow this truce. And they don't. Which is fine. I don't expect them to, and they don't. I was fine with it. That's why it's important to be clear.
Why are you trying to impose rules in fate? What? You think that the judge would know by now?
Yeah, I don't even know if he cares. He just says it. He's like, the war is off for now. But he's like, it's not like he doesn't exactly get upset when people start, actually no, he breaks it. He breaks his own rules because they start sending assassin out on people in a little while. I don't know how he's even supposed to enforce it. You can't. And the other thing that I forgot about was that
This is the anime equivalent of a kangaroo court. This is all fucking nonsense. It's all rigged.
Yeah.
Everyone's fucking.
This is like the Paris Accords or something. It's like, yeah, we'll kill all the servants by 2030. Yeah, for sure. By Thursday, definitely.
Yeah.
100%, dude. What am I, a piece of shit? I'm not gonna not have all these servants killed by Thursday.
Honestly, I wouldn't be fighting. I would just be kicking it with my boy Ryder if I was fucking. I would be like, yeah, Ryder, we're gonna go today. We're gonna go play we're gonna go play Mario Kart in an arcade.
You'd introduce Ryder to fucking like some tabletop. You'd never see him again if you introduced him to Total War or what's the one people like
Warhammer.
Warhammer isn't. I guess that's a tabletop.
Tabletop, yeah.
What's one where people play where it's like you conquer territory? I don't know. Yeah, you get the idea.
But I would love to see a fucking Fate series where like the Holy Grail War gets called off. And they're literally not allowed to fight anymore, so they just have to go integrate wherever. Well,
after
I want one episode of that.
Well, no, they have Carnival Phantasm, which is just these characters but slice of life fun.
I'm sold.
Yeah,
sold. One ticket for the Carnival.
I'm probably ready for Carnival Phantasm now. I can probably finally watch that. I'll probably get the jokes. I don't even know what the premise is. I don't even know if they try to come up with the premise. It's just like, hey, these characters are having fun together. Oh yeah, it's fake characters and like the Tsukihime and Honkai. No, what the hell is it called? I don't know. Now I know who all these saber face girls are. Sort of.
Let's see. God. I'm looking at all these girls. I'm seeing them. I'm seeing girls. These are cute girls. It looks like they're dancing. This is dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, great opening. I think who animated that? Was that also the table? No, Lurch.
All these girls.
16 episodes. That's probably fun.
What year is this shit? 04? Oh my god, perfect.
What is
the OVA is 2011. The manga is 04. Okay.
Oh, I didn't realize it was even a manga. This is what I was going to say. The thing they make a big deal about that I don't even remember if we figured this out already before, but like they make a really big deal out of these command spells like they matter. And they don't seem like they matter. No one ever uses them.
Not yet, at least.
Not yet,
they were kind of they were a bigger deal in UBW for sure.
Well, we definitely haven't finished. We're only at the halfway point. So I'm sure a lot of them will get used, but it's like they act like getting one is a really big reward, and it's like most of these servants want to win and want to work with.
None of them are at odds with their none of these groups.
Not really. No, like you can tell Gilgamesh is scheming, So, and also we don't really know. I don't really like. It seems like the command spells are always for very specific one-time things. Like, can you I'm sure if the writing required it. They could Death Note it and just make it like, if you tell a guy to live, will he just be invincible? Is it that kind of thing? Like what, how far does this go? So, but they seem to really care about the command spells. Okay, fine, sure. Ryder gets a delivery in the mail. That's fun. He gets a shirt. Kiritsugu is still sad. More guns. Saber runs into an obvious trap and gets trapped by Caster. Gets saved by Lancer. I kept thinking, okay, we're gonna get rid of a couple of the less compelling villains here early in the show. I was like, okay, Assassin's probably gone real quick. Caster's probably gone real quick. Caster not the most complex guy. You know what I mean?
I think he's misunderstood. Yeah, he's set up to be the first guy to get killed for sure. It's like
because he's just the wild, crazy guy.
He has no designs on the Grail at all. He's not scheming. He's not hatching any plans. He's just. We need to kill somebody at some point.
He doesn't know who anyone is. Yeah, he's just like crazy guy who yells stuff and who has to die. And he keeps going. Keeps on trucking. His master also not really redeemable anyway.
I Oh, he's just like a pure psychopath or a sociopath, actually. It's just a fucking serial killer. I do enjoy the rapport. I I like
They
I like
like they're not likable people, but they certainly they have a great time. They get along real well.
You have to admire that in a friendship.
They
huh?
really love each other's company. Yeah. But at this point, I was like, okay, Castor can go. I don't know if I need much more of him.
I just think is done.
But yeah, it's this is like episode 8. There's like three like fights going on simultaneously. It's like Kirei is going after Iris and Maya. They're together running through the woods. And Kiritsugu is fighting Archibald, who has broken into his mansion. And he has special bullets to shoot him with, special magic bullets that some lady gave to him. I know. I believe there will be an episode dedicated to Kiritsugu's backstory. It'll probably be depressing. He'll probably explain who his mentor was and why his wife died. And then there's and then Saber. So Iris makes a magic bird to fight Kirei.
Yes.
And Saber and Lancer, instead of beating Castor, they like scare him off. There's a lot of scaring off that happens. And then
he disappears into a puff of blood or smoke blood or fucking
pretty much, yeah. He's like, you've bested me this time. And I said, who's this lady? Oh, right, that's like Kiritsugu's past woman, putting his bones in bullets. And then Lancer, even though Archibald is mortally wounded, Lancer then takes him away. So no one dies. There's like 2 episodes fighting. No one dies. And then Iris also has a Deus Ex Machina. She can heal people. She has a device. She has an artifact or something. And then we get some of Lancer's backstory. Archibald, his magic's been taken away. No more magic for him. So his lady friend wants the command spells. So she tortures him until she gets him. She gives him finger ouchies.
Or is she like? Because at one point she's like breaking fingers sadistically, like taking his fucking, his command spells, and then later she's like fawning over fucking over Lancer. And is it like in like not an insincere sort of like it seems like she is capable of genuine emotion, but she's also like a monster person who breaks fingers to get what she wants. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like I don't know. I don't even know her relationship to Archie. I don't remember. Yeah, it seems like she was also, you could tell she was kind of a schemer. Maybe it's just because she's a fake character, but I was like, she's probably going to betray this guy. Maybe she just thinks Lancer's like hot. Is there a shot where like she looks at him and like blushes or something? I don't remember.
There's a flashback to Lancer's backstory where girls see him and blush.
Oh, okay.
And I guess Lancer is supposed to be like a sex god, so. Not like he's a literal god of sex, but he's hot. But there's possibility of him being an actual sex god.
You could technically, you could make the argument.
Yeah, that's true.
Lancer is not really into this lady, but he doesn't have much of a choice. Ryder continues to rule. I've made that note a bunch of times. Waver does some science to find Castor, and then Ryder and him go and find the serial killer's sewer lair where they just have like dozens of dead kids.
You would think that there would be some sort of. I'm not going to go into it. Yeah.
Some sort.
Yes, they find the sewer filled with dead kids.
Yeah, some sort of smell.
Smell, some sort of runoff.
It's gymnasium sized. It is really. Yeah, I don't know. Probably smells bad already. It's a sewer. Who knows? Maybe it's only been a couple days.
Yeah, maybe they work quick.
So
they got a lot of kids. They got a lot of them. Like
I mean, they're magic. They can do that.
And they really do just be crushing skulls. They just,
they're using kids like they're going out of style.
It's kind of off-putting, not in it offends my sensibilities way, but more like it's just weird.
It's actually like I feel less than I would expect. Because they're throwing him around and crushing him so much that it's like when the screen's covered in Evangelions in the new movies. It's like there's too many of these. They don't have the. It's like when they're just like tossing bodies and just like throwing kids against walls, and there's just like 100 of them on the screen. It's like I'm not really like traumatized. You know, it doesn't have the effect you'd think from like a super dark, like nihilistic or a butcher fucking.
Well, none of them are. They're all like mind controlled. So they're
mind broken. So there's also no like screaming or anything that would make it very distressing.
They don't react in any way, and then they're basically
except for the
just
one.
Like
there's one that
water with blood essentially.
Yeah, they're right. So seeing all these dead kids does not cause any kind of maturation and waver or give him any kind of new purpose in what he's doing. And then the assassins show up again. And then little Rin gets her whole episode just all to herself. Little Detective Rin.
It was fucking such a weird. We've got 2 episodes left.
Very out of place. Well, we don't have 2 episodes left, but it's in this like season as everything is like, it's all been the same thing so far. It's all been like one continuous, and then it's just like, it's almost like the direct. It's like someone just really liked Rin. Does anything of consequence happen in this episode?
No, it's basically complete.
I couldn't even tell when it was happening. I couldn't tell if it was before or during the war because like
the killings still happen after. Like in the next episode, there's still kids being abducted. It's not like she stopped all of the abductions. She didn't stop
the guy, but it also seems like the guy didn't have Castor yet, or he's just gone. He's not there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very strange.
It's really weird. It's like someone just really liked Rin and just wanted to give her an episode, and like just had to make something that didn't fit in the plot at all.
Yeah, they made her like this weird little detective girl kind of situation where she's like, I don't know, a very very strange little detour. Yeah,
I do like Rin, but and the other thing what I did like about this episode is that like it's like. It was a very, like, she lives, but at the same time, this whole episode is her fucking things up because she's too confident. So the whole time you're like, ooh, somehow she's
butcher material.
Yeah, it's like somehow she's going to end up causing more kids to die, or she's just gonna see it. It's gonna fuck her up.
Yeah, or like she's going to she saves her friend. And then she's going to turn around, and the second she turns around, her friend gets her fucking head cut off or something. Like that kind of fun. Yeah. Yes, because I got the same feeling.
It's just her trying to do magic, and she sucks, and her dad's teaching her stuff, and like she's a Full Metal Alchemist. She's a white knight in school. She's like trying to protect bullied kids, and she's bossy, and she's like just way too big for her britches.
When is she going to get put down?
And then she's fine, and she saves all the kids. And the serial killer, he's like, "Oh, you darn brat!
I'll get you next time, Rin."
She gets saved by Berserker at the end, which is odd, but I guess. Oh, Berserker's technically working for her family, so that makes sense. Sure. Maybe he was looking out for her the whole time. Thanks, Bazaka. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Saved by Karia, I said. Episode, so 11, yeah, so 13 here. 13 episodes in this first core. And then I had forgotten what Kiri and the gang were doing. Kiritsugu. And then, oh, yeah, this is the drinking episode. Oh, this was sweet. He just shows up and he's like, "Let's party," and he has a barrel of wine, Are you still there? Hello.
I'm here. Yes, I
Okay.
was. I was just kind of going back into the vibe. You know, it's
You're
just.
falling asleep.
I was up really late. Oh, this is something I was going to talk about. Why I was up until 6 in the morning today.
Oh, 6 is a lot. I was like, oh,
I
what are
was
you
up,
babies? What baby was up until 4 a.m.? Ooh, on a work night,
no, I was
whatever.
up until 6.
That's too much. Yeah, that's.
I was. I manically, in a fit of absolute mania, finished Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha
Oh
Sapphire.
God, it wasn't even work. Oh Christ.
No. This was
Oh,
this
no.
was like early COVID style, just completely reckless abandon.
Yeah.
Seeing 4 o'clock hit and being like, I don't
Fuck
even
it.
care anymore.
Yeah.
3 hours of sleep is enough. And yeah, I my thing was I was going to try to. I'm catching all of the legendaries in the game using only Premier Balls, which are which are as effective as Pokeballs, like the base Pokeball.
Yeah. Is there any?
So
What's the different? Why they call it a different thing then?
You have to get them. You have to buy 10 Pokeballs, and then they give you one for free, and they're white. So
Neat.
and because my friend already beat the game, and to dunk
Oh God,
on
so you're
him,
just doing this for style? You're just
to dunk on him because my thing
flexing.
is like, well, yeah,
oh my
watch
God.
this. And, so
is this on? Is this on a console? Is this or is this like an emulate?
Yeah, I'm playing on a real 3DS in
Okay,
real time, and it was I think I started at about 11 and ended at 6 in the morning, and so what happened was I caught how it works in the game is you catch Rayquaza and then you immediately go up into space to fight Deoxys. And
Sure.
I caught Rayquaza the first time with one Premier Ball, just out of sheer luck, which is insane. And then I went up to this guy to fight Deoxys. I fucking KO'd Deoxys, which means to get him back, I have to beat the Elite Four again. I'm way under leveled to beat the Elite Four. No, because I just caught Rayquaza.
Oh, it's a non. Okay, right. Gotcha.
So I had no chance to save before that. So yes, I couldn't soft reset. So I had to go beat the Elite Four again. All of the Elite Four the second time around, all of their Pokemon are over 72, with the highest ones being I think around 80. All of my Pokemon are lower than 70. So I brute forced my way, soft resetting over and over and over again, all the way through the Elite Four.
What do you want, a time limit? Why do you have to do it? Why can't you just?
I saw the opportunity to catch Deoxys in a Premier Ball before my eyes at about 2 in the morning, and I'm like, wait, well, how much more would it be to do that tonight?
Oh my
and then
God,
I ended up.
This is deep COVID. You weren't kidding.
I was sunken cost fallacy
processes. Yeah.
I was like, I have to do it now. I have to do it, and I did it.
Specifically tonight.
To be fair, the exhilaration that I felt when I finally did it.
Well, sure, yeah.
After I beat the Elite Four, and then I went to Deoxys, and then I caught Deoxys. I must have soft reset 8 or 9 times and thrown probably over 100, maybe 200 balls.
Yeah.
And when I finally caught it, it was ecstasy, and I fell asleep instantly.
Yeah, three hours of sleep is the kind of tired where it's like any stimulant is just going to make you feel weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You just don't even feel like you're technically awake, but you're just like I feel wrong in every possible way.
Well, I'm also I did a drive that was 24 hours in one go. And there are certain kinds of tired where stimulants do nothing. It is like you said, it makes you feel weird, and you're still gonna fall asleep anyway.
Somehow,
so you have
find a way.
A physical fucking stimulation with a mental tiredness. It's awful. So yeah, I'm at the end of my rope here as we approach the end of this episode.
Yeah, see why we didn't do the entire series in one episode? We gotta split it up. I'm just watching my turtle. My turtle knocked the big sponge off of the intake hose on the filter. And I'm just watching the turtle stick its head into the hose and get its head stuck and pull its head out and stick its head back in over and over and fucking over again. That's why the sponge was there, dipshit. She's going back. She's going back for it. Okay. So yeah, Rin. So then Ryder shows up to the castle and punches open a fucking barrel of wine, which made me laugh. I like it's shot. Just cut to just him, just like smashes it open, and he's like, "Let's talk about this," and then Gilgamesh also shows up, and it's like very silly at first. It's like basically played for comedy. It's like so ridiculous that he's just like, "Hey everyone, let's chill out." But then they literally just talk for 20 minutes. But this is when this is really the best instance of if Urabuchi wrote all of this, you realize that he must understand like pre-modern morality shockingly well, because you never hear of people from like the time periods that these guys are from in, any like modern fiction, like making any sense, even like internal sense.
Yeah.
Where they're not just like basically monsters.
Like all of our history books are written from the perspective of what their sheer impact on the world was without even remotely trying to understand them. There's no attempt to humanize them in any way or to like really grasp what their worldview was. At least not in baseline history.
As long as there is a steady progression and every, as long as as long as history is a continuous trend upwards, then that's like really the only thing people get out of it. So then you don't not just pre-modern, but like pre-Christian morality. And Ryder gives this big fucking speech to Saber, because Saber is like, I'm gonna save jolly old England with the Grail. And he talks about how he's like, if you're the king and you failed, that means that your country failed. And if or if your people failed, that means or if you failed, that means your people failed. And if you separate yourself from your country, that means you were never the king to begin with. And it was good. I liked it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Again, it's like it's a clearly a pre-modern idea, but it's like at least it makes some sort of sense. Yeah, like you can like at least understand the perspective, and you can see why at the end we get teleported to like a vision realm, and you see how much his fucking boys love him. Because it's ecstasy. It's like they're unquestioning, unwavering loyalty to him, because they see.
Because of course, listen to him. Look at him. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. It might honestly be the greatest representation of this is going to sound really hyperbolic. It might be the single greatest representation of the power of one person's raw charisma to inspire people to follow him. It might be the best version of that I've ever seen.
Yeah,
because
in
2 minutes.
Yeah, totally. And that's like the point of his whole character, and they nailed it, because he's Alexander the Great. People followed that fucking guy to India, and it's like as soon as he died, everything fell apart instantly. There's just civil wars, and it just all collapsed. And he was like 33. So it's like, they got that down. And he might not have even been a big muscular guy. So he must have been really
the unrelenting faith in his guys, their unrelenting faith in him, the symbiotic relationship between them, the power that comes from that. All of that shit is shown. It's spoken, during this conversation, and then shown visually in this final sequence. It's ecstasy. Ecstasy. It's truly like when you're watching this, it's watching a great work. Period. And it's watching a truly great character, and it's a rare thing to be able to say that. Man. God, so awesome.
Superb. Yes. Yeah, and you rarely see Saber, her whole thing is being steadfast, and she's totally kind of, knocked back by that, because he's not serving an ideal, he is the ideal. I can't disagree. So yeah, that was sweet. And I think I'm gonna say Assassin's still not dead after that. His boys all stab him with swords and slice him, but they got
infinite assassins.
They probably just have infinite assassins. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I have so many pictures of Rin. I still gotta get through these. So Gilgamesh still scheming. He has another long conversation with Kirei, and then we end up finally at the future, or the Emiya residence from Fate's Day Night, the compound. We even end up in the special, the shed in the back where Shiro first meets Seba.
Oh yeah.
But it hasn't happened yet. And fucking Gilgamesh, I was so fucking done with Gilgamesh's like riddles. Like, he just talks in questions. He's like, why do you think I would say that? It's like, dude, can you say something? It's been 12 episodes. I still don't know what he's getting at, I don't think. Oh, except what does happen is that Kirei just sort of becomes a master. He gets a thing on his hand, but there's no servant for him. So I don't know.
That's another confusing rule thing where I'm like, what? It's like constant intrigue, even if the intrigue doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's like it's a development. It's like you're tossing stuff in the mix. It makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You're just enjoying some of Urobuchi's gumbo, and you know what? He's gonna throw whatever he's got left in the fridge in that motherfucker. We got some celery. We got some fucking bacon. It's like whatever seems like it doesn't smell too bad. It's going in, and it's gonna be pretty fucking tasty regardless. It's just like, what could that possibly mean? Does it mean that he's gonna steal somebody's? He became worthy.
Yeah.
Does that mean he's gonna steal somebody's fucking servant?
He's gonna. He's either gonna summon one, and we're gonna get a new player in the mix, or he's going to kill another master, or he's going to wait until the master dies, and then their servant's immediately just going to be transferred to him. So I assume those are the three possibilities we're looking at.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like, Gilgamesh has been, like, kind of, like, sowing this doubt in Kirei. Not as convincing in his, like, philosophy as writer. He's just sort of like, I love suffering. And you'd think like a Catholic priest would hear that and be like, well, I'm not into that. And Kirei is just like, what? He's like fascinated by it. He's like, what do you mean? What is this?
Catholics are all about the suffering, though.
It's specifically other people's, like causing it and watching it.
Right,
I think.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, not like doing it by yourself and not telling anyone about it.
The suffering of children, in front of you, at your hand, the constant covering up of suffering.
Oh, what's that supposed to mean?
Years of systematically removing people from the community and placing them in new communities.
I don't know what you're
Okay.
getting at.
Oh, you are from Boston. That's true.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why.
Deep-seated.
I went to public school. Maybe I got molested. You don't know.
That's what girls started throwing around at our high school. Was they were like, they're like, what if I got molested though? And then they would just get dudes fired.
I don't think that was just our school.
There was one that happened in our school where like it's like he touched me on my shoulder.
You always hear different versions as like, who knows? Like, no idea what actually happened there. So in the final episode, it's the end of season 1 here. Nobody has died, not even Assassin, I don't think. we keep having these scenes with Waver and Ryder, and they give me so much fucking anxiety because it just feels like Waver's going to betray Ryder or something, and I'm going to freak the fuck out. He's such an ungrateful little shit. He would totally sell him out for anything, really. And I'm so mad that it's going to happen. And Caster crew comes back to their sewer, and they're very upset that their kids are gone. And what's his name gives a Ryunosuke is his name. I haven't said his name yet. Ryunosuke gives a big speech about God, but it's all like fucking twisted and psycho. And after
it's kind of stuff that you wouldn't understand, but stuff that like I already knew. Actually,
I'm on the outside looking in.
Yeah, this is my twisted world, and
my twisted world by Ryunosuke and Caster.
I'm honestly pretty over a lot of these things. I think they're beneath me. Yeah.
Yeah. So, after an intense philosophical conversation, they decide that they should both continue to be serial killers. That's the conclusion of that like 8-minute scene.
I've never seen that scene before. I've never seen the scene where these two serial killers, like I've never seen the scene where the serial killers are like, "Yeah, this is great. This is awesome. I love what we're doing. Honestly, we're doing great work. I've been really impressed."
The sun comes out from behind the clouds, and he's like, God is real, and I'm fucking doing his. I'm fucking carrying out.
Awesome.
I'm making him a beautiful portrait over here. He loves what I'm doing.
It's like top 3 scenes in the entire season for me so far. I love it. It's like, just because the tone of the show, it's from their perspective at this point, just the two of them, and they're mourning the loss of their masterpiece. It's awesome. It's a great scene.
It's just compared to characters like Ryder, it's just like it's one of those like they're just like these throwaway characters where they're just psycho insane, and you'll see you can just they're done well, but it's like I've seen this kind of character before. Again, I was done with this a while ago. They just keep going, and then
this is the most.
What's that?
I was gonna say this is the most compelling that I found them, and this is the most that I've liked their dynamic.
That's true. Yeah, especially when, like, they've gone so far off the rails that they're just, like, going out in the open and they're just kind of going to try to do the biggest thing they can. It's like they don't even know what it is.
Yeah, fuck it, man. Should we pop this? Yeah, let's do it. We played good. Yeah, it's like, you know what? We've been waiting around. Let's fuck. It's like when we made the decision to go to Japan. It was like, man, we've been talking about it for a while. We've been pussyfooting around it. Let's just pull the trigger right now. And he's like, okay, here we go. I want to make a kaiju.
Yeah. So yeah, he like, and I love the visual of like Caster like floating on water, and the guys on a bridge going like, "You got this, buddy."
It's great.
That is very funny. Yeah, so he turns into his genius plan is to turn into a giant tentacle monster. And I was like, wait a second. I looked at the time. There was like 2 minutes left. I was like, wait a second. This isn't even going to end, is it? It doesn't end. I bet I bet at the end of this conflict, Caster doesn't even die. I bet this isn't even the end of Caster. This is like another mini fight.
They're going to all die inside the last 3 episodes or something.
I bet it's going to be like 6 episodes of like really, really just like brutal, just constant murder and death. Something like that, probably.
I hope it's tasteful. That's something I really liked about the deaths in Unlimited Blade Works, is that like in particular, I thought that the character of Lancer really, like, his death was handled with a lot of dignity. And I like that.
It was kind of unceremonious, wasn't it? He just ran in front of something and like died in one scene, but it worked for his character.
Yeah, and I hope it's not just like a bunch of people getting brutalized.
Just tons of Ilya deaths. Just tons of people getting their hearts ripped out.
Yeah, exactly.
And their eyeballs stabbed and running around, not being able to see, going fuck.
Getting killed by worms to death. It's like somebody the rib cage is exposed as like their torso's ripped in half. It's like, I don't want that. I want them to. I like these characters, so that means it's probably going to happen. Actually,
it's probably because there's gonna be some blood and guts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
As long as they don't do my boy Ryder dirty.
Ryder doesn't even care. He could die anyway. He loves it. I mean, that's the one thing.
He's just happy to have more life.
Yeah. So, yeah, we will see.
You'll all see.
Yep.
You will all see soon. We'll complete our plan.
Gang-stalking van coming to you next summer.
Yeah.
Gonna have it.
I don't know. We spent 2 weeks in Japan. We didn't kill each other.
Yeah. We didn't. You know, I got so ticked at you like just a couple times. I didn't even do any violence to you. I don't think.
No, I did not receive any sort of physical assault. No, I think we were in two different modes where I was consuming a lot of stuff and like I need to externalize a lot of things to keep my sanity right now. And it seemed like your mode was like I need to internalize everything to keep my sanity right now. It was different wavelengths at certain points, but I think most of the time once we ate, we were fine.
That is true. What I remember is like the most like. It wouldn't have been as annoying if you weren't trying out one of your new phrases. You latch on to like a piece of slang. So like
sure.
With the one you were really into was search me cuz you were saying search me cuz when instead of I don't know. And that you said that hundreds of times over the course of our Japan trip. And I just remember this one moment where I was looking down at my phone and I was looking at some fucking Google Maps or some train shit. And I into the air, I just asked this this not really rhetorical, like, should we go like here? Or should we like loop around and then come back? And you just go, search me, cuz. And I just went, it's like if you had just said, yeah, I don't know, it would have been one thing, but the search me was infuriating.
All of my cognitive ability was being leveraged in that moment. I was on the other side of the planet. I was like, I had
it's like a weekend.
I had two synapses left where it was like one would trigger and that would activate search me cuz, and the other one would trigger and it'd be like I'm hungry, and you got two.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you got those two. That was
we're waking up at 5 a.m. every day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we need to see all of Japan in 2 weeks. It's like okay.
So funny. Hey, we did a fucking good job. We planned.
Hell yeah, we did.
Completely successful trip.
Man, did we nail the timing of the onsen resort? Was that perfectly halfway through, or was that towards the end?
That was probably geez, yeah, I don't know. It was probably about a weekend. Yeah.
That was oh my god, it was so good.
That was maybe a long weekend. Yeah. That was part of the second week, I would say, but yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, we did
another Fate.
How many months? It took 3 months, but yes, we did a Fate Zero.
Yeah, we started it and then just wait until we do Razifan.
Oh my god. When did we start Razifan?
I probably started it last year. Yeah, like I probably watched 8 episodes of Razifan last year.
Oh boy, yeah. I think I watched like 2 or 3, so I'll just start again.
Yeah, you'll just start over. Yeah, I'll jump back into things real easy. It'll be no problem.
I would say the Fate, not rewatching the first few episodes was a big mistake. I should have just been like, I'll just rewatch the first fucking.
Oh, you had already watched a few Fate Zeros?
I had already seen over half of it. Okay, so like I was kind of a little behind on a lot of that stuff because I'm like, oh Jesus, this is like
there's a lot of dudes here.
Yeah. Yeah, Razifan, I'll just start all over.
Yeah.
But let's watch something else before we do that. let's
take a little breather.
Are we gonna do the second half of this, or do we want to try to do something else? You know what I could go for? I could go for some slice, like 2000 slice of life shit. I could go for like
plenty of that.
13 episodes of.
We could watch Maho Romatic or Popotan or fucking Sora no Woto or Milky Holmes or
Yeah, I want low stakes, very very casual viewing, no conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Maharomatic seems
we
like
got that. We got that for you.
Sounds like Maharomatic might be a good option.
Battle programmer Shirase. That's probably not very good.
Is this what kind of gun does this hoe have? Is this an end block clip fit fucking loaded handgun? What is this?
It doesn't have a barrel. I don't know. Is it supposed to be futuristic? Or is it
That's
real?
That's gotta be really heavy. Look at that thing.
It looks like the Psychopath gun. Yeah, it looks. Yeah, it's like they are. What's happening with the bullets? I don't know.
It looks like a clip fed, top loading. Where does it eject? Why is it
maybe at the other side where you can't see?
What? It's such a tiny grip for such a large slide.
Let's see. No, it seems like no one has figured out what gun this is because I googled Maho Romatic gun and
I don't know if it's. I don't think it's a real gun.
I believe it's a fictional gun. Yeah.
Calico P50 is real though.
Calico P50. Oh, okay. Oh, that's mean looking. That's such a dumb. What an ugly gun.
Calico.
Are those hexagons? What is? I kind of like the M16 looking one with the tapered, like the really like fucking shitty looking one. Like, it looks like it's from Alien. Like the Keltec P50.
Is it a P50? Is that what it is? It's showing up, so I hope.
Oh yeah, no. I'm looking at
You're looking at the Keltec P250 or the P50.
P50, but I'm also looking at a picture of one where the barrel is tapered and it has like a big thing duct taped to the top of it, and it looks like it looks like it looks like it's from like a space trucker movie.
God, yeah, that's a weird ass gun. That's it can be a 50 or 100 round helical magazine. It ejects out the bottom and it fires 9mm.
Oh, is this it? The Calico Liberty 3? Yeah, that thing looks hilarious. Oh my god, that is fucking. What? It looks like it's like it looks like an airsoft. It looks like it has a gas fucking tank on top of it.
Yeah, that's the gun that Homeboy's using in Fate.
Wow. Wait, which one?
He's using a Calico. He's using one of those. If you go back and look,
okay,
that's
the
what.
one. Okay.
Yeah, and then he also uses a Walther 2000, which obviously, which the Walther 2000 might have the most. It might have the most representation in fiction ever for the gun that was produced the least. There's only 200 of these things in the world, and not the Calico, but the Walther. And it's like the Walther shows up.
Hollywood. What's it called? The Walther what?
Walther 2000 or right. WA 2000 will get you there.
Oh yeah, you see that a lot.
Yeah, it's in like Call of Duty and shit.
It looks, it's very distinct, and it looks like it has like 3 barrels because it just has that.
Yeah, it's got the bipod that's up there with it. Shit.
Yeah. Bullpups. Gotta look futuristic.
Yeah, it's like it's archaic
wood, it's classy.
now.
Yeah, it looks like it's like the station wagon of bullpups.
Yeah, it's like it was literally a weapon made in the 70s, which is this weird period where like they didn't know what a marksman rifle needed to be.
It's always surprising how many guns that still get used were just made in the 70s.
MP5 was designed in like 65. Like the MP5 is fucking ancient.
Well, AR-15s were basic. A1s were basically already AR-15s.
Yeah, it was in
the early 60s or late 50s, even, right? It was like
because
crazy early.
Yeah, like the AR-15 platform was designed originally in the 50s, and then it became a military rifle in the 60s during the Vietnam War, and it almost didn't win because it was it's
crazy looking
polymer. Polymer, and they saw it and they're like, that's not wood.
Of course, yeah. They were like, what the fuck is this?
This is this Lego bullshit you're giving us.
It's like you get a thing and it's like half as light as all the other things. You're like, all right, hold on. That probably took some convincing.
But then you hear stories about how like banana republics and shit, and like they would sell them to like military dictatorships, and they would like literally go up to the the head honcho of the nation to try to get an arms contract. And the way that they would sell them is they would be like, it's a small gun, right? And then they'd set up watermelons, explode watermelons.
Yeah.
That was their marketing tactic. And they sold a bunch of them like that.
I think that's what Lord of War is about. I just want a bunch of scenes of Nick Cage impressing African guys, and then just going like, "Ooh,"
That is
like
100% Lord of War.
Yeah.
We got to end this thing.
Yeah. All right.
Love you guys.
I had fun, and we'll come back to this. We'll finish this one up, and we'll talk about it. Taking us out is Daisy De La Hoya with her single "Pretty Messed Up." Did you listen to the lyrics of this?
No.
It's very, very meta. It's clearly about being in a reality show, leading a false life. It's like she's singing from like a prison or something. I don't know. It's surprising.
They went for the wrong album cover.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Glamorize over self-deceit. Powder smiles and gentle